All right, so howdy, Tim. You are
Greetings.
a proud owner of Navi as well, I understand.
This is mine.
Excellent. All
I've
right.
got number 1493.
14, and I'm 1444, so they were probably on the same truck, same shipment.
Correct.
Let me switch over to my other cam here. I've got multiples up trying to uh, moderate comments and do everything else. So we're going to do this and walk around over here in a minute. So
At least it looks warm there. We just reached
it
14
is for
degrees.
now. For now. This is the calm before the storm. We're supposed to be below freezing tomorrow morning. Ugh. Come on up. Kids are getting back walks up the driveway here. So, all right. So, who do we have on? We've got a handful of people. Quasi, yeah, see now. Crappy little tablet camera here. Woo-hoo. And then I've got my phone over there that I can walk around, answer questions, and show it to people. Right now, we're sitting at a balmy 86 degrees out here, and it's going to be uh, 34, 35 in the morning, 6 a.m. So, tell us about your Navi.
So I picked mine up in Shawnee, Oklahoma, about the same time you were doing your live stream. And total cost out the door was $22.86, or within $1 of that. And then I immediately went and purchased the rear rack as well and the windshield. I also purchased one of the sticker kits. I don't remember which. But I'm coming from the Riker to this, and it's been a long time since I rode two wheels.
Right.
So I thought this would be a good transition back to two wheels, especially with the being used to the CVT on the Riker.
Gotcha. So, what is your intended riding chore for your Navi? You just going to poke around town on it? You have any plans for two up or anything like that on it?
So no plans for two up. I am 255 pounds, give or take, and I don't think I'd want to put a second person on. My son wants to ride with me. He's 17, but we'd go over the max weight for the bike. I'm probably going to wind up getting a nut brown for him.
I think that's what I'm going to get next, is the nut brown as well.
He doesn't have a driver's license yet, and so he can get his motorcycle license in January, but it'll be 6 months before he get his driver's license. So
I'm answering Gus's question here. Sorry to interrupt. He was asking, can I demonstrate the flickering lights issue? Well, there's issue number one. When you turn on the ignition, nothing happens. So I think that's got to be resolved. Nothing going on. Let me turn on the fuel, make sure the run switch is on. We'll kickstart this monkey, or fuel is on. Choke, and we'll fire it up, and then we'll get to see these winky blinky lights. I need to take my other camera off of there, but I haven't figured out how to do it yet. So it's on high idle right now, so we're not really seeing the flickering. But if I take it off of choke, I did bump up my idle, so it's a little less prone to do that. There it is. Probably doesn't show up well on the phone camera, not nearly as much. There you can see it. Just have to get the glare out of there.
I can confirm it's not just your bike.
Yeah.
First thing I noticed, it needs an LED bulb in the front at a minimum. It's just not bright enough. And when my wife was ahead of me, she could barely see the light. And that was at speed.
There's a good flicker. And at night, that looks pretty bright on the phone camera here because it's auto adjusting for low light. But let me tell you, to the naked eye, it's pretty dim. It's very, very dim.
Yeah.
So what I'm
I liked
thinking,
your idea of adding running lights to it. That would be good.
right? What I'm thinking is that the in traffic, when you, in fact, I can make it even go lower. If I lock off this rear wheel, it doesn't allow the CVT to spin the belt, and it drags the motor down even further. So it really gets to flicker. So anyway, I'm concerned that somebody is going to get rear-ended, low light, whatever. I know that I don't really care for poor lighting on bikes, so it's one of those things. Let me go back through comments here. Sorry if anybody was waiting on me to say something. Hey, we got fireworks going off in the background. Are you guys getting those? Oh yeah, let's get the aerial displays going on. Where's everybody watching from? Hey, Edward, that's a good question. Chime in with your locations. Maybe we can figure out if you've got other moto enthusiasts and crazy people in your area. Let me shut this thing down so I don't have to talk over it.
Well, I'm in Oklahoma City. If anybody's in the area, check out Red Dirt Rikers, and you can find me there.
All right, so what do we got question-wise? Sorry, everybody, it's hard to do this without a moderator or a producer. James Hall, was I able to adjust the mixture? No, I didn't mess with the mixture, but I did bump up the idle 1.5 turns from where it was at the factory setting. Almost, I guess, probably 1 3/4 turns, and it seemed to help. It's not as prone to puttering out as it was. It was pretty bad first 2 days. Now, I didn't notice that at the dealer when I picked it up. All right. We have all kinds of noise.
Active neighborhood.
Washington State. Hey, John Cherokee. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for tuning in. Kevin is saying it's going to be 28-48. Yeah, we're going to get down to, I think the forecast said 34 in the morning, and then Monday morning we're going to have 29 or something like that. It's going to get pretty chilly.
We're down to 12 right now.
Oh, well, I can't complain too much then, huh?
I was just riding yesterday, and it was nice outside.
Zip my fly. I better not have my fly down. Hey, Dwayne. Thanks for tuning in. I've been doing this for decades, but I wasn't recording and posting any of my crazy antics until just a couple of years ago when I got the Riker. The Riker's kind of what started my channel. And Nick, the founder of the Red Dirt Rikers group up there in Oklahoma City, that was one of the first ride videos I did on the channel.
And I found the Red Dirt Rikers because of that video.
Oh, really? Oh, great. So a little family reunion here. Oh, man. -2 in Iowa. God. I did the demonstration on the flickering lights for Gus on the Rebel. Great guy. Go check out his channel. He's got a lot of good Rebel 1100 content. Going through. Dwayne, love the brown. The new Rebel. I presume that's what you were talking about. That looks pretty good. If you're talking about the Navi, the nut brown, that looks pretty good. I like that. It's almost military.
I'm curious because I read a news article. There were 5,000 kits shipped from India to Mexico. I'd like to know what's the mix of colors and how are they
distribution
coming out?
Of the colors? Yeah. From what I heard, all the green ones are the ones that went out first, which is fine because that's kind of what I wanted. The red ones are next, and then the brown, I hear they might not be making it till March.
I haven't heard anything about the Ranger green.
So Sean is asking detailed instructions on the mods. Yeah, I'll do a bunch of wrench videos, kind of turning the screws and pulling the stuff out. The first thing is going to be the LED lights. I'll get a flashing LED tail light, one that's got a pulsar circuit built into it. So when you energize it, it flashes 3 or 4 times and then goes solid until you let go and do it again. Those are like $20 or something. They're pretty easy. The LED turn signals all the way around. It's probably going to be the same bulbs. I don't know which. It's probably a BA6 type or something like that. And it's going to need a solid state flasher because the um, mechanical relay in there, the clicker, it's not going to work with LEDs. So, and then everything else, windshield, other add-ons, whatever I do to it, I'll try to make short little videos, maybe like that, watching a lunch break on the wheel. Second ride video. Hey, Brian. ADV 150. For some reason, my comments aren't highlighting now. So Brian is asking, oh, dropped out for a second. You still there?
Still here. You are dropping out occasionally.
We dropped out for a sec. Yeah, we dropped out for a sec. Okay, so I was saying Brian was asking, or talking about 150 there. Kevin, Excelsior here in the chat, also has a 150. I went and picked that up from a dealer down in Galveston back in the end of August or beginning of September, something like that, and delivered that over to, or he came down to get it, but I was holding on to it for him. So I did a comparison video between the ADV 150 and the PCX 150, but I haven't had a chance to edit and post that yet. Higher idle helped. Yeah, Jared, it did. It really did. Yeah, we're having some Wi-Fi issues here. I apologize, everyone. Right next to my Wi-Fi router upstairs. Must be the internet. Pin lights, yes. I will probably put those on the back corners. I'm not as concerned about the front as I am the back on the little Navi, Kevin. Those lights on here are dim, crazy dim. Emiliano, yeah. The Navi has been, it came out in India back in 2016, and then now it's being produced in Mexico and India. I'm not sure when they started in Mexico, but apparently a handful of years. What I wanted from Mexico was what I wanted from Mexico is the Zoomer X. They've had it for 5, 6, 8 years. I don't know how long, and it looks like a beefed up Ruckus, and it's a 110cc water cooled, fuel injected, a lot more advanced than this. They're making it in Mexico. Why can't we get that?
It'd be interesting to see if we get a lot of accessories from India, because there's a ton out there.
I think so. I'm looking for the rear rack, the carrier, because I've already got several top boxes that I could just strap down onto that pretty easily. The windshield is going to be a special fit item unless I want to go with a National Cycle, some kind of universal. It would work. I think I'll try out the Honda factory one first. That way I can do a review on it and show everybody what that was.
I ordered both the windshield and the rack from Honda.
Did you? Did you get an ETA on the delivery?
2 weeks.
That's not bad. So maybe they're coming out of Mexico.
Yeah, I hope so.
Running way behind on the comments, but Brian said he did a 55-mile ride today on a C400. I am guessing the BMW C400. What C400 do you have, Brian? That's a good size scoot. All right, trying to catch up. What do we got? Oh, man. Stephanie, 13 in snow. Houston really never gets cold, but 3 years in a row now, we're going to have multiple freezes over the winter. It's crazy. I don't think we got below freezing for probably 10 or 12 years here. What do we got? Rack and storage. Yep, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to put probably a shad top box on the back of here when I get that rack. Comes available. Navi might be what I pick up for a Trail 125. Hey, Peter. Yeah, Trail 125s are still kind of a rare animal. I could roll one of those out here and let you drool over it. Should I be eating? Huh?
Must be nice to have so many bikes. Too many choices.
Now that's just me.
Yeah, now we can't say the Navi.
Oh, I gotta adjust the camera. But I gotta move it because this is a Navi live stream. The Trail 125 is a rare bird. I don't know why Honda has been sandbagging on the deliveries, but I was lucky to get the first delivery here in Texas, and I think for a long time I was the only one in Texas. There are a few more now. I've actually seen a couple others on the road, but they're just real thin. I think what the problem is, they can't sell these in a lot of countries like over in the UK and Europe because they don't meet Euro 5. So people are wanting them, can't get them, and until this motor is updated and the catalyst is updated, Honda can't sell it there. So I was hoping that for 22, Honda would put the new Super Cub Grom motor in there because those do meet Euro 5 and they're being sold there. So we'll find out.
None of the dealers here have seen one, and they will not take deposits for it.
Well, if anybody wants to walk around and kind of a showcase on the little trail while we're at it, I'll be happy to walk around it. Trying to catch up with comments. I'm 5 minutes behind. I think I'll be able to get another 5 to 10 miles an hour. John, I think so. I'm pretty sure with a windscreen, probably get about 3-ish miles an hour out of it. You just have to break up your silhouette in the wind. You have to break up the wind pressure across your chest, make you a little bit slipperier. And that usually gives you a couple miles per hour until you get a huge barn door windscreen, and then things go downhill after that.
Well, I think some tweaking on this carburetor is going to improve it greatly.
Yeah, I think so too. Hey, old Sarge, good to see you, buddy. I haven't forgotten about our thing out there in Fredericksburg. Hopefully we can get rolling on that in the next few weeks, get some traction after the New Year's. Blame the fireworks for the bad internet. Yeah, that's it.
So how many bikes do you have? Seen the
23.
warehouse?
23.
23.
Yeah, a lot of bikes. I need to get rid of some. Yes, Excelsior. I know a lot of people go down to Mexico and buy them, but they have to register them to a Mexican address. So if you got any buddies, hook us up. Zamdrang, planning on any long adventures with this bike or keeping it local? Who are you talking to, man? You know this. You know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know things are going on a road trip. So this will likely be a somewhat local road tripper. It's not going to be across the country, I don't think. At least not yet. we might think about that one. That's gonna the logistics for a long trip on this, cross country or something like that, would be pretty hard because it is limited to probably 55 miles per hour best case. If you do some modifications and uncork it a little bit, you might get a few more mile per hour out of it, but it's not going to come anywhere even close to what the Super Cub can do. The Trail Cub would probably be a closer comparison because it's limited to about 55, but I guarantee it's got a little bit more power than the little Navi does.
What's your thoughts for off-road?
Off-road on the Navi?
Yeah.
There's a guy.
Remove the fenders. You could probably
in
get
India. He just moved here. Heartbroken Biker. Look up his channel on YouTube. Heartbroken Biker. And he's funny, really funny guy from India. And he got one of these and he called it his Africa single. It's hilarious. He put knobby tires on it and he was going cross country on this thing, doing just dumb shit, which is fantastic. I love it. I'm all about that. And he did a bunch of mods to it. He had it for several years, and then he moved to the United States about 2 years ago. So I don't think that's that bike anymore. Look him up, Heartbroken Biker. He did all kinds of crazy stuff. Seems like there's enough low end torque to adjust the CVT for more speed. Yeah, I think so, James. In that second ride video that I did, when I hammered the throttle and it went bogged out, that's a variator. So variator, put different sliders or rollers in there, and easy to do. 25 bikes. It will be 25 pretty soon. It's 23 right now. God, do I need to count? No.
What's your next one?
What's that?
What's your next bike?
Another one of these for the giveaway on the channel, so it won't be in my possession long.
That doesn't count.
I'm planning to get another Navi. I've got the deposit down, just waiting for the brown one to show up, and that'll be the one that I do a giveaway raffle. I haven't figured out how I'm going to do it, but we're going to do it on the channel. Somebody's going to get it. Where am I? I'm catching up. Sorry. Square dealers. Man, all the comments are running way behind. Wonder if Honda will sell that in Australia. Dens of Oz. Hey, buddy. It has CBS, so I think it'll meet the Australian regs on ABS or CBS. I read about that, which is pretty bizarre. The thing that is not real tasty about it is carbureted. Emissions probably aren't that great, and most countries are getting away from carbureted bikes because of the stringent emissions. So, don't know. Damn it, he did it. That must have been about my being mean with the Super Cub, or a Trail Cub, sorry. Dealer had 3 or 4 yet. Must have been desperately waiting for Navi. Hey, Jeffrey. Trip to Mexico for the accessory package. Yeah, I bet they've got a bunch of upgrades in Mexico and also in the Indian markets. Asian markets probably have the stuff. We don't get it. Excelsior next year. Ride the ADV and tow the Super Cub 125 and the Navi. Yeah, that'll be fun. I'd try it. If I had enough horsepower, I'd pull it. The Plummus. When is the bonfire for the Riker? I don't know. I haven't heard from the dealer yet about my repair, whatever we want to call it. The suspension rebuild, tie rod arms, all that. I haven't heard back. I told him I don't want it back until it's fixed. And if BRP can't repair it, won't repair it, doesn't want to repair it, then I'll pay for all the parts out of my pocket. But I don't want to pay the dealer to do all that labor. So I'll have them button it up to a point that I can roll it back to the garage here to my warehouse. I'll do the rebuild myself because I don't see the benefit in paying a couple $1,000 of labor on $1,700 worth of parts. And if that doesn't happen, tannerite up the ass and boom.
And BRP is taking forever for everything right now.
Yeah. They're not real. Sorry, let me turn this up so I can hear what's going on. The yaw sensor thing and steering angle sensor seems to be what's getting everybody, and it's because of that bad little sensor package that's in the center of the eccentric arm off of the steering stem. Bad design. Okay, where am I? Sorry. Stephanie, she's watched some of Heartbroken Bikers. He's funny. He's foul-mouthed and funny. I like him. I can't get away with that. I get deplatformed. All the digital censors come and steal my soul. Where am I? Tom Wagner, I don't have to pedal. John Cherokee, first hobby firearms, spending more money on the Riker. Yeah, wanting the 1100 DCT. I'm not a good financial influence. I buy the toys that I like, and I use them and ride them, abuse them, make them do stuff they're not supposed to. But it's all about priorities.
I've got the firearm bug too. I just built a rifle, almost $8,000.
I haven't gone that big and heavy on firearms. I've got 130, 140 all flavors and sizes, but I don't have any really expensive long range reach out and hate someone guns right now.
I built it for PRS out at
Nice.
Fouled Boar in Oklahoma.
Hey, Fatty's on. Hey, Nick, what's going on, buddy? No, both these ding
You feeling any better, Nick?
We are. Australian, California, stuff in common. Yeah. And Canuckistan is getting just as bad up there. Don't want to turn this into a political conversation. That could go sideways. Good to see us. Oh, Brian, there we go. Hey, good to see a small group that appreciates scooters. I am a huge small bore enthusiast. I mean, you just watch any of the videos on my channel, you'll get that vibe right away. I ride everything, big bikes, small bikes. It doesn't matter. I don't have any prejudices toward anything except the ones that don't work. VRP, kind of. But that's another story. Yeah, I think the Navi would have benefited more. I don't even think they would have needed to go up to a 150 on it. If we just got the Zoomer X, it's already built. There's no R&D. It's on the shelf. Just bring it up here, damn it. Mustang, hey buddy, good to see you, Mustang. Navi coming to the market, caught out of the loop. Haven't been paying attention. Yeah, it was kind of a surprise announcement from Honda. It's a little over a month ago, middle of November, I want to say. Like November 11th, 12th, somewhere in that range. And I put my deposit down the day that I saw the press announcement that it ended up on their main web page, because that's how I found out about it. It was on the Honda USA web page. So I immediately called my two dealers and I said, "You've got my credit card number. Charge it right now. I want it. I don't care what color it is. Give me the first one."
I did the same.
Trying to get through the comments, and then I'm going to let you take the helm there, Tim. See if you got anything else going on. Oh, wait. Hey, the comments run by so fast. Kevin's saying he ran out of things to spend money on in the Riker. Well, you got new toys, though. So spread
It
the
means
wealth.
you need another Riker.
He was thinking about that. You tell him, Kevin. He was thinking about getting a Copart wrecked out Riker and rebuilding it, doing some fun stuff to it.
So I wrecked my first Riker, and I debated doing that, and I really regret not buying the wrecked Riker back from insurance.
Yeah.
Because just for parts, it would have been well worth it. But I had a 900, and I went down to the 600. I'm very glad. I was happy with the 900, but the 600 gets better gas mileage. And
Does
so
it?
I was happy
Because
with that.
Nick was saying that his didn't. Sorry to interrupt, but yeah, Nick was saying that his didn't do as good as we were thinking of it.
So I had the 900 for about 4 months. I only got about I think 28 to 30 was my best average, and the 900 I'd have to look, but mid 30s to 40. But I always use premium. So, and I've not had a problem with the speed.
Yeah, I think fuel economy on the Riker really depends on how you're riding and how fast, like sustained speeds. Nick and I have done several road trips on ours, pretty long ones. And if I can keep my speeds down in a ride group or something like that, and I'm not going over about 65, it gets decent fuel economy. But here in Houston, doing the commutes and the long highway trips and things that I do, you can never run under 75-ish unless you get run over when you're on the super slab. And
Nick
my
was giving me
lifetime
a hard
average,
time.
yeah, my lifetime average on my Riker is, I think, 28 miles to the gallon. Pretty bad.
Nick was giving me a hard time because I never took it out of eco mode.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Lanny, yes, I'll put all the product links in the video descriptions. Things about the products, I've harped on it a few times on the channel. I try not to preach or be a douchebag about it, but anything that I put up on the channel is stuff that I bought. I don't take donations and sponsored ads and things like that. So if I'm putting something on the bike, it came out of my pocket, my money, with the exception of Kaufman's exhaust. Kaufman's has sent me a bunch of freebies. I like those guys. Anyway, but if I don't like it, I'm going to say I don't like it. It didn't work, so maybe I can save somebody some money. But I'll put all those product links in the video descriptions, so just check the video descriptions and find a way to get to it. Usually stuff off of WeBike and Asian markets is where I get to those. Jared saying scooters and small bikes not getting biker waves. Yeah. They don't understand that guys out on the little bikes, the little scooters, those are the ones that really deserve the nod because it's harder. It's a challenge. And I enjoy the challenge. People diss me or whatever, I'll wave at them and thumb their nose and ignore me or whatever. It's like, all right, we're end up at a stoplight, and you get some of these macho guys and like, oh, get a real bike, it's a girl's bike. Okay, whatever. I don't need to do the measuring thing.
So I showed up at the Harley Davidson in Moore, Oklahoma had a motorcycle show. I showed up on my Riker. They put me right at the front door. I was surprised by that.
Really? Wow. Nick was telling me a while back that one of the dealers down there, or up there rather, in Oklahoma, was using my ride videos on the Riker to sell Rikers. They had it running in their lobby or something like that.
So
Okay, where's my
Jones
commission
Off
check?
Road. I don't know
Hey,
if
more
they
fireworks.
dealership did that. I think it was just the individual salesperson. But yeah, I saw that.
Right. Yeah, thanks, Kev, for the shout out. I try to get right to it on the mods and the upgrades. If it works, I'll tell you it works. If it didn't work, I'll usually make a retraction video or an update video or something going, no, it sucks. Skip it. Don't bother.
And I wait for you to do the experiments on yours before I touch mine.
I got a pile of stuff in the garage over here that needs to be given away, sold off. Oh, yeah. If anybody's on here that has a Trail 125, if you're one of the lucky few, I have an extra one of these. Don't have my flashlight on me. Let me see if you can see it. The big skill engine guard here. I have an extra one sitting in the plastic that I'm going to do a giveaway on the channel. I bought two of these. Let me just roll it back so we can see it better. Get us some light on the subject. So this Moto Skill guard, not the little bracket that goes on here, but that guy. I have a brand new one still wrapped up in plastic from Japan that needs to find a home. I was thinking that we were going to get two of these. I was going to get one, and Adrian was going to get the second one. But he ended up not getting the Trail. He's been pretty happy with the Super Cub. So that second rack is like $250 or something like that, plus the shipping. So give it away. Somebody needs it, you let me know, and we'll figure out how to do a raffle and a giveaway. Where was I? John barely takes us out of eco. I can't ride my Riker like that. I've got the need to twist the wrist, and with Houston's traffic being as aggressive and crazy as it is, I find that I need to squirt away from traffic and get away from them, and eco doesn't have quite enough grunt. Terry, hey, thanks for the feedback. If you can learn anything from me, it's what not to spend money on. So just look for the problems and save some money. I won't help your budget situation as far as saving money on toys, but I might be able to save you on the accessories. Stephanie, I totally agree on the Super Cub. I've gotten more waves from Harley riders on the Super Cub than on any of my other small bikes combined. I find that kind of interesting. I guess it's just the nostalgia. Maybe they recognize it from yesteryear, that color scheme, it's got the nostalgia factor to it. So, Kevin never puts his in eco. Costa 16 Auto. You need one of those bars for your CT 125. All right. So I'll figure out how to do the live giveaways and doing this through StreamYard. So they've got a nice random spinner wheel thing where I give a code word and people start typing it in, and then I can do the giveaway. So I'll work on that. It won't be in this live stream tonight. I got to set that up. I thought it's a little more organized. But if you're in the USA, that'll be one of the stipulations, because I don't want to ship this thing back out of the country. It costs me $60, $70 to We Like Japan, DHL. They get it here pretty quick, but they're not cheap. Mustang, waiting for me to do a collaboration with one of the factories. I've thought about it, and I actually reached out to American Honda regarding my Super Cub trip around the country for the Cannonball, but they weren't real receptive, and I understand the reasons why. But most of the manufacturers will not work with individuals. They only work with companies. So you have to be incorporated. It's legal umbrella liability protection, all that kind of stuff. I know that some motor vloggers get invited out to things. I'm kind of surprised that I haven't gotten invited to them, but they
I
probably know that
expected
from my
you.
they probably know from my content that I can't really buy my silence. If something's pissing me off, I'm going to say it. That just is how it is. It walks like a duck, quacks like a duck. It's probably a duck.
When I saw that they had all the motovloggers on the Navis out in California, I was surprised you weren't among them.
I was a little surprised too. I, I thought I might have gotten an email or something, anything, but it's okay. I'm not butthurt. I'm probably helping sell more Super Cubs than any 100 other people out there. So maybe they could throw me a little love. William, have I ever come out to Merced, California? Let me know. Oh, cool. Um, which one are you waiting on? Moped on order since last year. CT 125. Which one are you waiting on? Brian is asking if I have both, so I'll ask which one do I prefer, trail or Super Cup? I get that question all the time, and it's a hard one to answer definitively. It depends on where you live and your riding habits, what you intend to do with the bike. Uh, for example, if you're just on surface streets and you're bombing around at 45 miles an hour is kind of the average flow of traffic. I mean the speed limit. I mean the average flow. There's a big difference. Then the Trail 125 would probably be my choice because it has better suspension than the Super Cub, but it's very limited on top speed for longer highway runs or even rural roads where you want to get up to 60 miles an hour. CT 125 is not going to do it in factory form. It needs upgrades. It just can't pull it. So that's really the defining factor. Is if you want to go off road or if you got slower surface street commutes, Trail 125 would be the one. If you need to go faster than 45, 50 average speeds, Super Cub all the way. Every time. John Cherokee. You should, John. You should send them over to Thrill Mouse. I'm sure Barry would appreciate it. I've got a Two Brothers exhaust sitting in a box here that's been waiting on him forever, and he's come down twice to visit me, and we forgot to put that in the van or whatever when he returned. But I was going to put that on his exhaust wall so he can do a sound comparison or whatever. Because I couldn't like that. I had about at a bike shop asked me about the Super Cup was. I was amazed. I think it was 21. Yes, Stephanie. Yeah. Um, when I first got my Cub almost 3 years ago now. Every time I would stop somewhere at a fuel station or a grocery store or whatever, people would just flock over to me to start asking me, where did I find such a perfectly restored classic Cub? And I said, no, it's not restored. This is new. And they went, well, they don't have those here. Now we do. I had to show them the ABS and the disc brake and all that, and then they started cluing in. Oh yeah, it's not the old one. Neat bike. Where am I? Oh, a whole bunch of comments just went scrolling through. Ah. So tell us, while I'm reading comments, Tim, tell us about your Riker experiences.
So most of my Riker, I ride the Riker year round.
Okay.
Even though it's going to be in the 20s next week, I will bundle up and I will ride it to work. Granted, I only work 15 miles up the road, but it's been reliable. Haven't had any issue. I know some of the other issues out there, but thankfully I haven't had that problem. Back there is my Riker.
Nice.
And I did put the shad bag on it because I needed the extra storage for instead of carrying a backpack. About 4,000, 4,500 miles on it. And Only time I've taken it to the dealer, went for the oil change, and they said it was going to be 6 weeks for an oil change, so I did it myself.
Yeah.
Nick and I changed the belt on his Riker, and you have to have the Bud software in order to reset the display.
To reset the counter, yep.
Which is useless because it's, I think it was $500 or $600 for the software, and it doesn't do much that most people are going to want. So I'm building a garage, a detached garage. I'm going to stock it with software and tools that you're going to only use once on your Riker, so the local riding group doesn't need to buy one each. We can just share the tools.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it'll be heated and air conditioned for convenience. And I'll start to do the same for the Navi, and go from there. I don't know. It's a heck of a lot of fun though.
Are you sitting in a 12-degree garage right now?
No. So I have a couple of computers over here, cryptocurrency mining, and they keep my garage pretty warm.
Because Nick is saying it's 12 degrees in Oklahoma City. Ouch.
It is.
I'm going to go through a couple of these
flurries.
comments here so people don't think I'm ignoring them. Apologize.
Not a problem.
Chris is asking, why not a Grom?
Cost and availability.
Cost. Yeah, you got it right there. You can get almost two Navis, for the price of one Grom. It's crazy. The Navi is cheaper than the Ruckus, and the Ruckus is only a 50cc. I don't get that. It's insane.
Yeah, and it's hard to find a Grom.
Yeah, and I think I'll probably get the 22 ABS Grom. Unfortunately, that only comes in blue. I like the SP color, which is the white, red, blue Honda colors. So I'll just get the ABS version and plastic it.
I have been looking for an ABS Grom for a year. I don't want a stock. I want ABS. And I haven't had any success in finding one.
Yeah. Well, the containers are moving now. And I think several of the manufacturers have gotten tired of stuff sitting out in ports of California, bringing them around through Panama, Port of Houston. So trucks are rolling. That's good. Jared is saying, hope to catch me, Neil, and Adrian. Yeah. We're hoping to get back up there and do that soon. I'll let you know. I'll try to put notes out on my road trip.
Where in Alabama? I love the Huntsville area. My son was born
Jared, Alabama, Mississippi. Where are you? Mark is asking thoughts on the 22 Super Cub. I like it. I really like the oil filter. Biggest improvement, period. It always should have had it. I understand, the classic design of the oil spinner, which is okay. After I did my clean out on mine, let me rewind. I had a CT90 and a CT12 way back in the early 80s. And I don't think I ever cleaned that spinner out. I never remember doing that procedure. We might have just forgot it. But when I did my recent oil spinner clean out on the Super Cub after Campbell Run, 7,000 miles earlier, the junk that was in there looked like clutch material only. So that means the rest of the oil is not really being filtered out all that well. So it made me doubly glad that I put the magnetic drain bolt. So anyway, back to the 22 Cub. It's got higher compression, which means higher horsepower output, probably a 1.5 horsepower net increase, I think. More efficient catalyst to meet Euro 5, and the oil filter, which is huge. I kind of wish it would have gotten a 5-speed transmission, but maybe they couldn't do that with the centrifugal clutch. Where am I? Lears discussed upgrading the Navi to LED TU250. Hey, the TU250 is a fun bike, man. I like that little Susie. It's a good machine. Very, very efficient. So again, process as simple as swapping the bulbs. Yes, and yes. You just have to find the right bulb base, so you need to pull the ones out and match it up. If you don't know what you need, I recommend going to superbrightleds.com. LEDS, so it's all one word, superbrightleds.com. And they've got a real good lookup tool on there. The prices are pretty good. Once you figure out what you want, if you don't buy from them, you just plug in the same specs over on Amazon.
I looked for the Navi. I did not see them this afternoon because I'm trying to find that bulb.
For the bulbs?
I didn't see the Navi on their lookup yet.
It won't be in the lookups. So don't even go there. What you'll have to do is just pull the bulbs out. If we go long enough, I'm going to grab a screwdriver and go in and pull one out. You have to look at the base. Typically, these are the push in and turn round offset pins. So you just have to get the right diameter and you got to get the right pin offset. And I think it's going to be a BA6 base. I'm not sure. It's a bayonet.
I'm going to see if I can pull it real quick.
Oh, hey, cool. Partner in crime here. Bought an 86 CT, Laney. Bad motor and put a Chinese 125 manual shift on it. Interesting. Were you able to get the transfer case, or did your CT 110 have the dual range transmission? My 90 didn't. My 110 did. And I really wish that the new CT 125 had the dual range transmission. It's a faux pas on Honda's part, in my opinion. I'm really behind on comments now. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, Sean is saying the same thing. Twice the price uses a clutch. Yeah, this is a bargain basement. Get new people into riding kind of a bike, or another bike for people that already have a primary rider or 22.
So here's a question for you. I noticed you used the quad lock as well. How'd you get there? I wound up with the same.
Yeah, I actually got the. I changed mine out. I had the stem mount on my mirror just for the first couple days, but I put ball mounts on there. I'll go over and show it in just a second. I'm going to need a flashlight. Let me grab that. Hang on.
For anybody who wants to see mine, I just used the smallest adapter that they had that came with it. Oh, it's hard to do this. There we go. Nope. This one works really well.
So what I typically put on most of my machines are these, I think they're 9mm is what they say, but they fit 10mm bolt holes. But it's a little sandwich mount, and you just put them underneath your mirrors or bolts on the back or wherever you've got a spot. And I put them in a couple of places, usually. There we go. There's a little bit brighter light. So right here, I just sandwich it in, and I've got the vibration dampener mount, and it's just mounted on that ram ball, so you can crane it around and do whatever you want. So it gives you more flexibility for mounting cameras or other stuff on the bike later. You're not just tied down to one kind of a mount. Ooh. Okay, where am I? Okay, now I've got a whole lot of comments here. Oil change on the Riker was easy, Nick is saying. Oil changes are simple, but I bet that CVT was a bear. Kevin here has also done the belt change, and I'm going to bribe him with some beer and whatever to work on mine. So I'll ride it up to his house in the Round Rock area, and he's got a fancy lift. It's a center lift for the Riker. Pretty cool. Jason,
I'll be right back.
6 minutes behind on the comments. Thanks, Jason. I put a little bit of time into that one. We got up at 5 a.m. and started hacking that video up this morning because I had, 4 cameras and a lot of synchronizing and stuff to do. And I was taking work calls today on New Year's Day. I spent 4.5 hours of my day doing that. I was hoping to do this live stream around 3:30 or 4 this morning, or this afternoon rather, but work, I was swamped in work stuff. Terry got a CT, or Terry got a monkey because he was waiting on CT. Yeah, CT is just unobtainium. What are my thoughts on the monkey? I like it. I don't know. The aesthetics of it aren't really my thing. I like it. I've ridden it. It's fun. It's great. Just, the seat's fantastic. The seat, I love the seat. Man, if I could put that seat on my Super Cub, there. Were you able to get the bulb out of there, Tim?
So I've got the 4 bolts, and I don't want to force it, so I want to double check the process. So
I don't know
remove
if
the screws.
I don't know if I should say thank you, congratulations, or I'm sorry, Jason. I've corrupted quite a few people into the small bore life. It's a lot of fun. It's not easy on the wallet. Easier than big bikes, but still not cheap. Hey, old Sarge from Muscle Shoals. All right. Missing Bama. Sean is asking, can you pop wheelies on the Navi? I'm 6 minutes behind, guys. Sorry, I'm going to try to catch up on these comments. I don't know. I don't know where the oil supply is and where the oil pickup is as far as flow characteristics on that trochoid pump, but I don't know. Yes, you could wheel it. If you get far enough back on the back seat, yeah, you can wheel it, no problem. It's got a lot of torque right off the bottom.
So here is, I only have the one camera, so there's 2 bolts on each side, and then there's one on the bottom in that slot, and everything comes out. Oh, the one on the bottom didn't need to come out.
So you're taking off the front. Good man.
There is.
Uh-oh, you lost
2
your
hands. Oh,
You lost
sorry.
your video. Are you still there? I think you. Oh, there you go back. Go back. I am going.
Yeah,
to...
I needed a second hand. Moving the rubber bolt, and then
Hey, VW John. Yeah, I like the monkey. In fact, I thought about adding one to the stable right before all of the supply shortages started happening and the bike prices went up because there weren't any deals to be had. My dealer out here in Katy, Texas, Wild West Motorsports, they had a monkey, the blue one that just came out, I guess it was the 20 model, might have been the 21. They had a blue one for a pretty spicy price. I think it was $31.99, and I was really considering getting it. The blue looks pretty good to me. I wouldn't mind having one. I think I'll probably get a Grom before I get a. Hey, Coors, just dropped 20 degrees. Yeah, that front is headed down here. We're supposed to get it about 3 a.m., I think, something like that. It's going to get chilly. Perilous
so I've got
times.
the bulb out.
Oh, perilous times. No, sorry, I'm running behind perilous. But no, this is the Honda Navi, and if you look at the right side screen, Tim, my cohort in crime tonight, is tearing the front end of his apart to look at the bulbs. So yeah, that looks like a H7?
HS1.
HS1.
HS1 or HS1U. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out the cross reference. It looks kind of like an H7 bulb, but I'm sure we can get any standard LED to fit in there.
It's very simple. It's got a retaining clip. Let's see if I can do this without breaking anything.
John, that's too much bling, dude. You know me. If it doesn't have function, it ain't on the bike.
So all it has is this retaining clip holding the bulb in place.
That's pretty normal.
That's it.
That's pretty normal.
So comes off.
Did it have a dust
easy.
shield? I didn't see if you pulled off a rubber dust boot behind that. Aha, it does. Okay. The only drawback about those dust boots is usually when you put an LED in there, you've got to cut them because the retaining rings for the LEDs are bigger, and then you've got the bulb, or not the bulb, but the heat sink body behind it, and those dust shields are annoying. So I'll hack mine up. I'll show everybody what that's about. Maybe somebody will come out with a custom fit boot for that.
And before somebody makes a mistake I was about to make, the dust boot is labeled top. So
Yes,
that it does have an orientation to it.
it does. Yeah, those little spouts are direction specific. Yeah, Stephanie, it's all about getting on the back of it. With a clutch, it would be easier. You just do a clutch up wheelie. But these have got a lot of torque on the bottom, so if you just sit far back on the back seat and crank the throttle, goose it, pull up on the handlebars, it'll wheelie, I'm sure. Brian, I'm right there with you. I would love to see the ADV 350 here or the XADV 750. I've been wanting the Forza here forever. The new Forza, not the old one. The old Forza 300 is a pig. It's ugly. Trying to find all the comments. It's rolling by. Hey, good, Kevin. I'll join that petition. Let me know who you're emailing, and I'll get on it. And I'll send them a link to my YouTube. H1, yes, I think you're right. Stephanie, just halt the trucks, all right? Just pull it back. We don't want the cold down here. You keep it up there. It's supposed to be in Colorado, not supposed to be in Texas. 650. Yes, I have a silver wing in my stash. How many miles? I got 37,000 on that one. I've been across the country twice on it. I've been north and south between Oklahoma and Texas and Kansas and Arkansas and Missouri on it dozens of times. I used it as a daily rider for quite a long time. I just got tired of the weight around town. It's kind of a pig, it's 540-pound scoot. Goes like stink, though. It's a quick bike. It'll do 115 miles an hour all day long and never whimper. It'll burn through gas like crazy at that speed, but it'll do it. Kevin Nash, hey, buddy. Idea of a cheaper bike to have some fun, transportation on occasion. Think it's going to 200. Yeah. A T-Dub is going to be a little bit more well-rounded bike, for sure. It's just different riding philosophy. This is essentially a scooter that thinks it's a motorcycle because it's a scooter powertrain on a more traditional bike frame.
So I got this because of the transition. I figured if I bought a low-end bike and I don't like it or I wreck it, I'm not out much. But I also thought when I go to upgrade to a larger bike, there's going to be a dozen people at my door wanting to buy this. So I'm not going to be out anything either.
I don't think that these are, there've been people bad-mouthing it already. I'm taking hater comments on the channel, and they're saying, it's a piece of junk, just get a Grom instead or whatever. You're talking almost double the money. There's trade-offs, the little quirks, the carburation issues, things like that. These are little things. They're easy to take care of, and I'm not hating on the bike, and I'm not disappointed that I got it. I like it. I would have paid the money if I didn't like it. But the safety thing, I was taking some flack about my comments on the lighting. Lighting's a big deal. That's a safety issue. And I've been riding for 37 plus years on the streets, 2 million miles on the road on two wheels, and I've never been down on the road. Been down on the track, no company. But on the street, lighting in visibility is everything. If you are not visible, cagers will run you over. You just have to assume that you're invisible anyway. But particularly brake lighting, people can't see you slowing down, they're just going to mow you over. And then even if they just tap you, everybody else right behind them is going to flatten you. Like a day.
See, and I got out of, I was riding two-wheel bikes back in 95, 96, and I stopped because somebody in a great big car who couldn't see over the dashboard hit me. And it wasn't until the Riker came out and I was comfortable because it was simplified in comparison to the old Suzuki I had because it was automatic and it was 3 points of stability. And that's why I started riding the Riker, which got me going back to thinking two-wheel, and that's why I'm back here.
Yeah. Well, you got two great bikes there. Is that the only two that you have in the garage? Just the Riker and the Navi now?
Yeah. Next one will be a BMW.
And they're both scooters. I mean, the Riker's a scooter. It's just a big pissed off scooter.
Yeah,
with 3 wheels. Twist and go, man. Twist and really go. So Steven is saying, push me to look at smaller bikes. I'll try to convert anybody into riding and moto camping and doing dumb stuff. But yeah, I'm a big small bore enthusiast. And
Well,
if
I would question, what's the point of buying a larger bike? It's fun to
it's all
go
about the riding
fast.
tours and where you want to go. If
Yeah,
you want to do transcontinental stuff, if you really want to go across the world, getting the biggest, baddest ADV bike isn't really the right idea. Most people that get the big BMW GSAs and stuff like that, if they're honest and if they really ride it and they really take it off the road, they'll tell you they're pigs. They're heavy, they're horrible, and every time they go down, it breaks. And if they don't break something on the bike, they break something on you, and that's even worse. That ends your trip. So lighter bikes, more middleweight kind of bikes, are usually the better choice for real adventuring. Uh, the holy grail is 350-pound off-road bike that's got 50-ish horsepower and can do 90 miles an hour. That's kind of the holy grail. None of the manufacturers have brought it out, with perhaps the exception of the Yamaha T7. T7 is a pretty good bike. It's very basic. It doesn't have a lot of the rider aids, but it's got that spicy MP07 motor that honks. John, yeah, waking up, pulling the bling off, man. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up. Oh, rock form, Ozark rock form. The mounts. I used to use rock forms. I've switched over to quad locks. I like rock form because they have the magnets in the back, and I can just stick my phone right up against server cases and stuff like that when I'm working, and it's pretty neat. But I prefer the quad lock mounts. I also had a CX 650, but I had the gold wing version or silver wing version. The silver wing 650. Great little V10. Motorcycle hitch carrier. What do I recommend? I got a cheapie. I'm trying to remember. I got the one that I carry my bikes. I think I got that at Harbor Freight. It was a $129 special, and it's got a 500-pound weight capacity. So I could take one of my really big bikes on it, but I wouldn't trust it for that. Kind of stay under the 350 pounds just for safety margin. Oh yeah, Celsius saying, preach it, brother. Lighting, man, always lighting. Lighting, visibility, keep yourself upright. 2020 MTS7, there you go. Far and fast, super kept nostalgic. Yeah, stuff. Yeah, we talked about that on the Discord when I was driving home with the Navi. That was neat. I like Discord. That's kind of cool. It's two-way voice. This is cool too. Here with Tim, because we can see and talk to each other, and I can throw comments up. So, what are your next plans for the Navi, Tim? Are you gonna do the LED upgrades and all the other stuff on it?
lighting. I ride in a yellow jacket with a black helmet and a bright green bike. I need lighting. I do not do a lot of performance mods. I've looked at it. I've thought about it. I am a systems engineer by trade, and I've kind of learned you don't necessarily want to mess with the engineering that was done at the manufacturer until somebody else has proved it out.
Yeah.
That's why I'll wait for you to do the wiring mod and see how you're doing.
I don't think that I've really done any detailed wiring videos. I've done some of my teardown videos. I have an engineering and electronics background as well, and I did professional high-end car audio, competition car audio stuff for about 10 years, and I learned the right way to do things. Do it once. You do it right, do it once. That's it. But you don't want to get back into that down.
I do aerospace, aircraft.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
and,
that's even more stringent. Even more stringent. Absolutely.
I've learned, you're better off not developing a new method. Use something that somebody's already
why
done.
reinvent the wheel? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this question. Daniel saying, hello, I see you take long trips on small motorcycles. You're from Texas and you know these highways. It's not bike friendly territory down here. Ever worried about using small bike on the highways? Yes and no. I pick my battles. I stay on the rural highways as much as possible on the small bikes. Unfortunately, a lot of our highways that used to be 55, 60 miles an hour are now 75 miles an hour, so it makes it a problem for little bikes. But you just keep an eye on your mirrors, and on the two-lane undivided highways, most of them have shoulders, so we just scoot over to the side and let the crazy cagers go by.
So you just touched on something important on the
Yeah.
Navi. The mirrors suck.
They don't
I
suck
am
as bad as
looking.
the Super Cubs original mirrors.
I am looking at my elbow.
Yeah,
That's all I see. So that's
yeah,
probably going to be one of the first things I do is replace the mirrors with something further out, higher up.
yeah. Or just
Because
get
you're
mirror
right.
wide mirrors. You can just get extender plates
Yeah.
for like $10.
You've got to be looking over your shoulder, because I've already had the case where somebody was getting impatient with me, and I took the shoulder and let them go by. It's the best thing you can do is avoid that conflict and let them be stupid.
Yeah, yeah. Little bike was not intimidated. Channel helped me make the decision. Glad. Hey, good. B-Dub, John. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's the American mindset, the U.S. paradigm here. The bigger, better, faster. It's got to have 100 horsepower. It's got to go 100 miles an hour. And that's okay if you want to limit your options. But once you can get over the stigma, I'm not even going to call it a fear. It's a stigma that small bikes can't do good stuff and have a lot of fun. And everything just gets so much better after that. Once you learn to slow down and appreciate the scenery and fun on these little bikes, I prefer riding the little ones instead of my super sports. I've got fire breathing 175 mile an hour bikes in the garage, and they just sit there. I enjoy the little ones.
That was one of the things that made me pause in looking at two-wheel bikes, because I wanted smaller bikes.
Yeah.
I wanted one of the bikes I really wanted was the Harley Street 500. Well, it's gone. And I don't buy used bikes because somebody wrenches on their bike, messes it up. I don't want to mess with it. And I kind of like
Kevin,
the Street 500.
Yeah, a couple of people have mentioned this one, Kevin, about the 3 inches of suspension. Tim could chime in on this too. Roads up in Oklahoma suck. Winters are bad up there, and potholes are everywhere. The 3 inches of rear suspension, I find the rear suspension on this thing pretty compliant. It's surprising for having 2 7/8 inches of throw or whatever, and the front has got 3 1/4 or something like that. It's got a little bit more throw. It eats up the bumps pretty good. Actually, better than my Super Cub. I was always saying that my Super Cub rode really good, considering the limited suspension. But the one thing that I notice on this, and I can show you guys, is this little rear brake arm thing over here is a little funky. I'm gonna sit down. Sorry for the noise and the motion sickness. I'm up on the center stand right now, so this whole wheel is lifted up. But look at this crazy clearance issue here. This is odd to me. You can't even put your finger between the adjuster nut and the edge of the tire. That's really weird to me. It's just so close. I guess it's not going to interfere unless the tire would really flex and come over this way under a bump. It just looks odd to me. The other thing that looks odd is how low that is to the ground. I don't know if I can get you on with the level there. But if the tire wasn't off the ground, this guy rides only about 3 inches away from the surface of the pavement. So, I don't know. It's just odd. I don't think it's a design flaw or a deal breaker or anything. It's just kind of strange. So, I mentioned that in my second ride video that I think I will probably ditch these CBS arms that are on here, these brake cam arms. If you look at some of the service manuals that are out there right now, somebody was kind enough to send me one on Discord the other day. The Indian versions, I believe the Mexico version and other ones, whatever the service manual is, they show standard brake arms here. And I'm sure we can order those parts if we wanted to do the combined brake system CBS delete on these. I think I might do that. Here's a view of the front brake arm. So you got two brake cables. One of them is coming from the rear brake. So when you pull the front brake lever, just the front brake goes. When you hit the rear brake, it's activating both front and rear so you don't lock and slide the tire. And then this third cable here is the speedometer cable. But I don't know. It just I'm not used to CBS, mechanical CBS anyway. Hydraulic is not a big deal because you don't feel a difference at the lever. With this, when you pull the rear brake, you end up getting slack in your front brake cable. So when you step on the pedal, the front brake is all loose and wiggly. It's just a weird sensation to me. I'll get used to it eventually, I guess, but I might end up doing the delete on this CBS line here. We'll see. Ugh. Sorry, I got an old comment up there. So what's next? Trying to catch up.
So if anybody is interested in the shop manual, the service manual, it's available at www.helm, H-E-L-M, Inc.com. I went looking. It's not there yet, but I expect it to be there by the end of the month, January month. So it is available, and it's supposed to be available for digital download.
Cool. Hey, throw that in the chat if you can. Well, you're on a phone. If anybody else can transcribe that, I'm also recording this, so we'll be able to watch this back later. But yeah, that's great if it's downloadable. And I do want the factory service. So.
It is in the owner's manual, which is available for download from Honda.
Okay. Yeah, owner's manuals are always available. Normally, service manuals you have to purchase through Helm, and they don't do digital or PDF versions of it because they know everyone's going to distribute it like wildfire. So they want you to buy that printed material.
So the page 101 of the owner's manual has the details about the service manual.
Awesome. Thanks for that. Hey, Vic, if you're still on here, I'm sorry I'm running so behind on the comments, almost 10 minutes now. When did you get yours, and where are you? What color did you get? We're presuming it's green because that's all anybody else has seen so far. What you got? Chris, Happy New Year's. Thanks for tuning in, man. I'm running so behind on these comments. I do apologize. John, thought about a dual sport, can't drop the hammer. If you're not a dual sport guy, if you don't have a lot of off-road experience, get a lightweight bike. Don't go heavy bike. Don't get a big BMW. There are too many road queens out there that never go off-road. They're so heavy, people don't want to take them off-road because once you slip in the gravel one time, you get that come to Jesus moment. Go, blah, blah, blah. This thing's too friggin' heavy. Yes, Excelsior, you need to teach me the ways of Discord, oh wise one. I'm a tech guy, but I haven't used a lot of these social media apps in a while. The last one that I used a lot was Ventrilo back in the FPS games and stuff like that, but I haven't gamed in a very long time. Thanks, Kevin, for the thumbs up. Jared, Cvt Mods. Yeah, Cvt Mods are going to be easy for this. It's a scooter platform, so upgraded variators, rollers, sliders. It's common fare. Everybody does it. We can probably get a different rear gear set for the final drive if we want to go that far, but unless you upgrade the engine power, you're not going to be able to pull a higher ratio at higher speeds because you're still only dealing with the same amount of horsepower. Air resistance. Stephanie's saying I'm the test dummy for Navi mods. Yeah, I'm gonna video them all. I'll put them up there. I have to deal with a lot of haters, I'm sure. So you guys need to drown out the haters. Anybody that's watching, you guys are you're crazy people like me. You're the fans. You're the word fans. I think I feel creepy.
Well, and it's also
but drown out the a-holes out there. I'm trying not to curse, but there are so many of those a-holes. I usually delete them, but I'm getting tired of deleting them because there's so many. I just need my normal channel viewers to find those people and start thumbing them down and just pound the you-know-what out of them.
And if somebody's buying one of the mods you do, let the vendor know you learned about it from Quasi. So
that'd be great. Yeah. And again, I don't like taking donations from vendors because then I'm not unbiased. I'm not vendor agnostic and giving an unbiased opinion in that case. With the exception of Kaufman's exhaust. So, I'll always say that right off bat. That Kaufman's is fantastic. I kind of sent a whole bunch of hell their way accidentally with my Rebel exhaust video. They were taking a ton of returns off of Amazon, which was kind of my fault. Even though I made the disclaimer, it's not for the Rebel. Anyway, they've been great since then, and they're doing all kinds of great stuff for me. And any of those kind of things that I get on the channel, if it's manufactured products that I haven't paid for, they're giveaways. I'll put them on the bike and I'll show you how to do it, and I'll give you my opinions of it. but I'm giving them away. I don't keep them for me. I kept one exhaust for me, but that was kind of a replacement for one that I had. Anyway, I'll give it away. So if we get more stuff on the channel, more goodies and swag and toys, they're giveaways, man. Freely received, freely given. Thoughts on the tank size, Kevin? It's small. It's 0.85 gallons or something like that. If this thing really does get 110 miles to the gallon, then it's not a big deal. You get 100 miles to a tank. But
I'm
I
getting
was
about
thinking about doing. Sorry.
I'm getting about 103 right now.
Okay, I haven't emptied my first tank yet. I was thinking about pulling the center box and making a bigger tank. Put a vacuum flow or vacuum
That
pump
would be
in
good.
there. You know, one of those diaphragm pumps for a fuel pump, and that's what, maybe 3 gallons down there, 14 liters or something, whatever that works out. I'm not good in metric, but yeah, that would be serious range for this little guy. Brian's talking to Tim saying the 22 C400 GT. You know, I really did look at that C400. I like it. It's so friggin' expensive, man.
Yeah.
I'm a Honda guy, so I've really been hoping that the Forza 350 or the ADV 350 makes it here.
I've been debating between the Rebel or the GS 310.
Uh-huh.
So haven't gotten there yet.
So that's what Kevin was saying. He needed to teach me the ways of Discord. So he sent me something. I saw it pop in on my Discord, but I can't feed that in here because I'm on a tablet. I don't think I showed you my tablet. I'm using an Amazon Fire 10 tablet to do the content moderation, and that's what I'm staring at on the screen right now. It's a $78 tablet. Live streaming on a $78 tablet is fantastic.
That's good.
So Stephanie, you're saying that the Super Cub mirrors, Super Cub mirrors were horrible, man. They were a traffic hazard. I almost got waxed several times by traffic. They were hiding in my blind spot and slowing down to turn, and I can't see that somebody's there, and got smeared into the pavement a few times. 650 a PCX fan. Any thoughts of acquiring a 160? Yes, I like it, but I've got to have a reason to get rid of my PCX 150s first. Can't really see the need for adding another PCX to the stable unless I get rid of one or both of the ones that I have. I would like to get the ADV 350 if that ever makes it here. Kevin is saying not 100 miles to the gallon if going 45 to 50. Yeah, probably true. I'll be doing some endurance testing on this thing very soon. I'll show you some fuel numbers. I post all of my stuff to fuely.com. You can find the links in my bio page on YouTube, but it's fuely.com/driver/quasimotard, and you'll see all the bikes in there that I record mileage. This will be one of them. Tom, you were one of the few that likes the mirrors on the Super Cub. I think they suck. They had to go. That's why I put the bar ends on mine. And if I need to fold my bar ends in to get more clearance, then it's fine. But we can't filter here in Texas legally. We do
Can't
it.
hear either.
Our cagers are way too aggressive here in the South. They will actively try to kill you if you're passing them.
Yes, they will.
Between cars. They are not nice, and I've actually had a few armed conflicts because of that. So, gotta watch yourself. Where's Tim's Instagram? Tim, if you got an Instagram, throw it up there in the comments.
I don't do social media mostly.
I don't either. This is about as far as I go. I got the social media, the Instagram accounts and all the other stuff just for YouTube so I can share this kind of stuff with people and hopefully meet people like you and all the others that are still watching in the chat. Tom, yep, I hope Honda sells a ton of them. Hopefully it'll turn into kind of another Ruckus. But the Ruckus, I think, it's a neat idea, but it's long in the tooth. It hasn't seen any updates in a while. It's still carbureted, and it's a 50cc. It's a very hard thing to ride a 50cc in any city in the United States these days. I don't care how small your town is. 50cc's doesn't get you very far or very fast, and traffic is just too hard to cope with. Yes, Kevin, they're only $900 in India, but you got to remember economies are radically different. Their labor, materials, everything's different. So we're the the land of the rich.
We are.
Handle's better than the Grom. Blackjack, I think is how you pronounce your handle. If you watch that second ride video that I just posted today, it's a little twitchy. I won't say unstable, but it's a little twitchy. And if you get into crosswinds, the Navi does get blown around quite a bit.
It does.
But it's not uncontrollable. It's just a little unnerving at first until you're used to that. And I've been riding for so long on so many different kinds of machines, I just fast. But it's the small rear wheel that makes it so overly flickable. Not a bad thing though. It's a little getting used to. Excelsior, yes, you're correct. If you put hyperlinks in here, it'll get whacked. Damage, JJP Gaming. Hey, buddy, thanks for tuning in. I'm real late on the comments, trying to catch up here. The Navi is going to be a fun project, and I still have all of my Cannonball Run videos and a whole bunch of Rebel videos and some other scooter videos that I need to edit and put out there. I've got easily 65 videos still sitting in the queue that need to be cooked. It's a huge time vampire, and I still have to work and put real money on the table because this doesn't make real money. This is fun money, not real money. XT250. Yeah, Kevin, I own an XT250. It's not here right now, but it's funny that you mentioned that because my XT250 is this channel's namesake, Quasi Motard, because I put street tires on my XT250 because I was doing commuting and long distance road riding and stuff on it. So it was almost a motard bike, but it still had a 21-inch front wheel. You need a 17 for a true motard bike. So almost quasi motard, channel name. Perilous Times. This is my channel, but someday I'd like to give some bikes away on my channel. You want to give bikes away on my channel? Let's talk. Let's figure it out. If you've got ideas, I'm open to ideas. I like to share anything moto, anything unique, fun stuff. Get out and do stuff on bikes that they're not made to do. Push the envelope. LM Old, the green one's coming into the dealer by you on Monday. Really? Green? Which green? Hunter green or the
Grasshopper.
The brownish? Yeah, whatever that is. On the Rebel, hey buddy, you're still here. Sorry, I'm running like 8 minutes behind. I'm going to catch up on these comments. So Gus is saying the model number is NVA110B. So November Victor Alpha 110 Bravo. Hey Dwayne, new here, already a fan. Thanks. Wait till you see me go out. If you haven't seen some of the stuff on my channel, watch some of the crazy road trip videos I do. I'm actually a lot crazier in real life than I show on camera and on the YouTube because I've got to be careful with the sensors out there. It's a whole lot more fun to get out there and do it. It takes a lot of effort to actually film it and present it to people. It's more fun to just go out there and be a maniac. I think a Navi would be easy for me to stare at in your apartment. How are you going to, is it upstairs? Can you get one upstairs? Or are you on the ground floor?
Daily weightlifting exercise.
Take it over a balcony. Now that would be a video. Hey, John, thanks for the recommendation. Riker Rides, Rolling on 3, Thrill Mouse, all of them great channels. Yeah, if you like any Riker content, I haven't been putting out any Riker content for quite a while because my Riker's been under demonic possession for a while. I do have a lot more Riker videos still sitting in the queue, probably about a dozen at least, that I need to put out there. Some good stuff. Not me bitching about the Riker, but actually road trip stuff, Twisted Sisters and stuff. So I'll try to get those out soon. But yes, definitely go check out Riker Rides. Beth is great. Rolling on 3 up in New York. He's my boy. He's good. I'm hoping to get him on another live chat like this. Maybe we can do that sometime soon. Talk Riker stuff. And of course, Barry Thrill Mouse up in Austin, Round Rock area. So he's the OG. Man. Excelsior, Kevin saying he found the Navi shop manual. I did too. We'll compare notes after this. I'll find out if you've got the same one that I've got. The one that I have is English, but it seemed like it was maybe kind of sort of made for the Indian market. Stephanie is saying MSR bottles in the storage compartment. Yep. You could probably do fuel bladders too. MSR and a few of the other off-road manufacturers have collapsible fuel bladders. They might fit in there. You know, I usually do the MSR Primus bottles in the tool tubes for my ADV bikes. I had one on the Super Cub for quite a while.
My daughter put my Yorkie in the storage compartment, so she fits.
So is that where Nick got the idea, or did you get the idea from Nick? Because Nick said exactly that.
So my daughter put my Yorkie in, and I posted the picture on the Facebook group, Honda Navi.
Okay.
And so there's a picture of my dog Charming in the storage compartment. She doesn't like
Cool.
it.
I'll have to go look for that because Nick was saying you can fit a Yorkie in the storage compartment, and I
Yep.
joked about that in my second ride video. I don't know if the dog would appreciate that much, but
Yeah, don't go far.
ventilation in there. So Knife Collector, yeah, thanks for the compliments, man. Glad to have any and all of you here. There's Nick. Prefer the Trail 125. Love how it looks. Honda Express. Ton of miles illegally. Yeah, well, who didn't? I can't tell you how many thousands of miles I put on my Trail 90 and Trail 110 on public streets. I got stopped by the Edmond cops so many times I can't really begin to. Yeah, fun stuff. You need to come back down and ride my trail some more, Nick. I need to do some more road tripping. Excelsior, if you want to send info to Tim, you can just. I've got his email, so send it to me. I'll forward it to him after that.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. I signed up for Instagram this afternoon. I'm gonna go find my handle on that. I'll be right back.
Cool. Okay, so VW John is saying that change the screen layout here until Tim comes back. Sell a lot in urban areas, New York City. I don't know, man. If we had Rolling on 3 on here still, he could probably comment on that. I'm not sure how well the Navi will do up there in New York. The roads are pretty rough up there. Oop, hey, Tim's back.
I'm back. I'm putting my Instagram in the chat if I can figure it out. Doesn't appear I can. So.
Yeah, New York roads are pretty rough, and the traffic up there is less friendly than Texas. Let me tell you that. I did a lot of work up in New York. I haven't been up there in 15 years, but as far as small delivery stuff, being able to zip around, they should be great. As far as getting around in traffic, Old Sarge, first bike, Milano Bianchi 75. Man, that reminds me. I remember the other ones, Benelli's, the little Benelli's, kind of along those lines. Little Benelli 70 and 90, kind of a mix between scooter and a motorcycle because they had gears. Really cool little bikes. Jared, if I missed you already, sorry, buddy. Thanks for tuning in. I need to get to the front end of the comment or the end of the comments here because people might sign up. Anti-theft for the Navi. It has a column lock, Kevin, but it's not in a traditional key location. It's like a cruiser. It's down on the lower part of the stem, so you got to remember to do that. It's a light bike, so somebody can just pick this thing up and walk away with it probably. Big guy carrying it, so big ass chain. Knife Collector, thanks for the live chat. Put a deposit down on Grasshopper Green. Nice, Orange, Texas. I'm gonna have to come out and visit you sometime. Haven't been out to Orange in a while.
So on the anti-theft insurance, so for comparison, my Riker for a year is about $950, full coverage, $250 deductible. On the Navi, $250 deductible, $250,000 coverage, underinsured, uninsured motorist coverage, medical payments, everything. $417 a year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not bad. I don't even know what mine costs me. I just call Geico and I say I'm adding another bike, and they go, okay. give us the VIN.
At some
Give us a
point,
good
it
bill.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I've got so many. I need to thin them out, but I think
I debated doing liability only because of the cost of the bike is so low.
I just do liability only. Liability and uninsured. I've got umbrella coverage for all the uninsured motorist stuff for all my bikes. Just as a policy rider. But I just carry liability only on the bikes, and I think both my Super Cub and my Trail 125 cost me $77 a year. That's it.
Yeah. See, and I go full coverage because, well, I could drop this bike next week and it's done and trashed, and I want it covered. Let me, give me a year and then I'll consider dropping it.
Yeah, if I have something that's new and high price tag, I'll usually carry full coverage comp collision for a year or two, and then I drop that. But something that's this cheap, I can't see the benefit there. Brad's asking how many PBRs can I stuff in the storage compartment. I don't know, but I'm going to start doing some loading and stuffing of that box on video and show you what fits in there. Everything from tennis shoes to measure tapes and all that stuff. And I've gotten two donations. Kevin Nash sent me $5, thank you, and somebody else sent me one a minute ago that I forgot to say thank you. Anyway, I apologize. Anybody that has donated to the Quasi-Motard Fun Fund, thank you so much.
So are the PBRs empty or full?
Yeah, exactly. So Bronco 85, yeah, old bikes. We're skipping ads on occasion. $5, yeah, man. I have a few Patreon subscribers now, and I've got just a handful of YouTube members. And I do apologize to any and all of you if you're watching, if you're tuned in tonight. I haven't been putting up special content just for members only or Patreon subscribers. I need to work on merch or some type of special content, show you the behind the scenes stuff, which was kind of my intention for starting those services in the beginning. I kind of alluded to it a little bit ago when I was talking about crazy stuff that I do. I'm out and around. I've got to be kind of metered and careful about being family friendly and curse words and content that I put out there for the main channel. So I'm trying to find the best way to present my alter ego. I'm flying in my face, sorry. The fun stuff, the off-camera stuff. Nick knows if Nick is still tuned in. Gus knows me. Gus is working with me. We can get rowdy. So that's the behind-the-scenes stuff. Hopefully, that I can share with people that want to see the content. So members and Patreon subscribers and stuff like that, you get the content because you're asking for the content. They're there for a reason. Everybody else gets the other stuff because YouTube feeds everybody that content. And if they don't like it, you flag your channel, you get 3 flags and you disappear from the face of the earth. Digital sensors have no soul and just erase you. So anyway, that's my little rant on content topics. So Banshee Boy 12. Any ideas of websites for exhauster variators and sliders? I'm betting that this is probably going to use very similar componentry to a lot of GY6 scooters, PCX included. PCX 125 stuff will very likely fit this as far as the variator is concerned and the sliders or rollers. Now, when you want to get into exhaust and things like that, we need to find the donor bike that this powertrain came off of, which was the Activa. Sorry, I'm losing my mind. Activa 110 is what this engine and powertrain came off of. So it's going to be foreign market searches until we get local dealers here in the United States queued up, getting inventory and cross-reference lists built and all that. So if anybody wants to search for stuff on Navi, look for Activa, Activa 110. Maybe you'll find it.
I think eBay is we're going to see the first ones.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be those Indian parts.
Cheap beer? Are you dissing my beer, Stephanie? This is Dos Equis. This is my favorite. I love Dos Equis. It's awesome. That and the Asahi Black, the super dry Japanese beer. Really like that one. I used to drink a lot of Heineken and the others, but I don't like the skunky beers anymore. I like the light filters. Go down like water. Wada wada.
I don't drink beer, but I've gotten away from soda in general. So
I
my
don't drink
drink of
soda.
my drink of choice is diet caffeine-free Mountain Dew.
Well, you and Barry would get along great. Throw Mouse Moto, you're probably a channel subscriber, you probably watch him, but Baja Blast, he's all into Mountain Dews. Fatty, Nick is saying would have been interesting to record the late night beer drinking. Yeah, that, and we had some interesting campfire talks up at Queen Wilhelmina before we froze our balls off when that storm front blew in. It was a good camp.
I heard stories about the exhaust too.
Oh, my Riker exhaust? Yeah. The A10 Warthog on the strafe. Blah! It was awful, man. If you watch some of those old videos, you could barely hear me talking, and that was after a lot of noise reduction. I had to do a whole bunch of post-process to be able to make that palatable. And people were bitching at me, audio is listenable. Okay, sorry. Call Two Brothers and tell them their exhaust sucks. Kevin Nash, how many subs do you think I would need members to do YouTube for a living? Like 50,000? It depends on your RPM, and RPM is revenue per mile or million, whatever they call it now. It used to be the CPC or click through, click per, cost per click. I don't know. I won't tell what my numbers are because my numbers go up and down. I think that's just kind of rude. But generally, once you get up to around 100,000 subs, if you're putting out content consistently and you're advertiser friendly, which means you've got to be very censored and very careful about what you do and what you say, because it reflects directly on those advertisers and manufacturers. You can make a pretty good living with 100,000 subs and a decent publishing stream. 5, 6, 10,000 a month. Not bad. Odyssey will mirror your channel. A lot of folks use that as a backup. Hey, VW, yeah, I was looking into that, and Rumble and a couple of others, because you never know when these platforms are going to get pissed off and decide to erase you. Gus is saying so much fun off camera. You didn't stay to drink, Gus, up there in Maryland for the Rebel ride. You should have stayed. It was getting late, but we had fun, man. We sat around with Mike, with Birch up there, and got shitty. Well, not shitty. We drank a little. We had fun. Yeah, that was a fun night. I enjoyed that trip. It was good to meet you up there. Colorado microbrews, Stephanie. Yeah, microbrews are okay, but I'm not an IPA fan, and most of them are just IPAs with a different label. I like the Pilsners and some of the light stuff, but as long as they're not chewy. Now, chewy beers, if you like a really, really strong, heavy beer, try Spot or Double Spot. Man, that's a meal. Put hair on the underside of your eyelids. Hey, Roland. Hey, buddy. Good to see you coming in. I hope you're still here. It was, comment was only a minute ago. Been trying to catch up with comments for the last 15 minutes. So rolling on 3. Oh, perfect question for you then. Somebody was asking or thinking that they might sell a ton of Navis and be good for the New York area up there. Let me find it. And boom, it was VW John. What do you think about that, Roland? Do you think the Navi would be good for New York? Speed-wise, suspension-wise, small wheels, 3.5 inches of front suspension, 2 7/8, just a little under 3 inches in the rear. How do you think it would handle the roads up there? I think they would sell great. I'm just not real sure about the cold weather and the carbureted bike issue. It's going to be freezing here. I'm sitting outside right now in 80-degree weather, right up before the storm hits later tonight, and then we're going to be very near freezing in the morning. So I'll come outside and I'll do another cold start video on the Navi. Piss off some more viewers. Go back down to the bottom of the list here. Yeah, John's saying howdy, Keith, buddy. Streaming on Amazon. Yeah, I looked at that, but it's more product related, isn't it? Give us the scoop if you know about that. Hell, You've got my email, I think. Send me an email over to my Gmail account, quasimotard@gmail.com. I'll send you tonight's meeting link and jump in if you want to. It'd be cool to have 4 of us on here. I'm on StreamYard, so you already know the routine. Beehive honey wheat. Okay, I like wheat beers. Shock top, stuff like that. That's a little more commercial, obviously. Yeah. Look, worked in Germany for 3 years. Oh yeah, a lot of. Yeah, then you know about spaten and double spaten. Ooh, 2 shovels, man. 2 shovels to dig your own grave. Rolling on 3. More e-bikes and electric friendly when it comes to law enforcement. Yeah. So, yay or nay on the Navi? What do you think for up there? Motoski, hey, from Lake Livingston. Lake Livingston, Texas. Out of Livingston. I'm going to need to get dialed in on cold starts. Okay, yeah, you know the routine on cold start choke. This one, it seems like if I let it run for 30 seconds until it starts actually sputtering because of the choke, and then I take it off choke, it does okay. But I did up my idle in that first video, and I tuned it up a little bit more between the first and second video, so it doesn't die as easily now as it did that first time. So, but tomorrow morning will be interesting because it's going to be near freezing here. I'll do another cold start. Motoski from Lake Livingston, Texas. Cool. I haven't been up to Lake Livingston in a couple of years. Good camping up there. I'll let you know next time I come up in your neighborhood to go camping up there at Livingston. That was where I was telling Nick, if you're still on here, Patty, that's where I did that one moto camp, and I called you out and saying, man, you need to come up here. It's good. So Keith is saying no on the Navi. You don't think it's good for New York. All right. So we need to figure out why. Give us some reasons why you think it would. I've already got my own opinions, my own ideas. What do you think? Hey, Brad, thanks for the feedback on the Cannonball. I need to finish editing some more of those and post them up if I can. It's been a long process because the ingest on the video for all that, I've got over 2 terabytes of video from that trip. So just categorizing it and classifying it and trying to do the vetting of the video, figure out what I can use, what I can't, because not all of it's usable. This depends on camera angles, and if the cameras shit themselves and corrupted footage and whatever else. So we were more focused on writing. I was not really focused on video production. But yeah, it's a fun trip, and there's a lot of good stuff coming that's in the queue. I just need to sit down and get into it. I'm checking my emails here, Keith. I'm going to use my phone, make sure I haven't missed you. Oh, rolling on 3 is doing a RLS exhaust thing. Oh. Got people sending me questions on there, but interesting. So when I go out of the screen, it does that. So I'm going to check email on the phone, and it did that. That's weird. Bear with me, folks. Sorry. See if Keith is going to join in here. No pressure, Keith.
Really,
no pressure.
You really should take a high quality picture of that because that'd be a great backdrop for your desktop.
Hey, you're right, man. I'll put that up on the channel too. It's not bad. Looks pretty good right there. Yeah, I'll do that before I put the bikes away before the freeze tonight. No, I don't see Keith hitting me up yet. Come on, man, hit me up.
So did you try the tools in the tool bag yet?
I haven't. I haven't even pulled them out of there.
I've got a 12 millimeter, 14 millimeter wrench, Phillips. Oh, yeah, double-ended.
Okay.
And
can you reach the idle set screw with that?
that's what I was just thinking about. And you know what's funny? I look at this reminds me of the toolkit that came with my Fiat X19.
You had a
I
Fiat
bought it
X19?
used. I bought
Man,
it
I remember those
used.
things all over Oklahoma back in the mid '80s, sitting in people's driveways with rusted out floorboards, and we actually bought one to
Yeah,
try to put a motorcycle engine in the back of it as a trial. It didn't work out.
I've bought two over the years, and I like them when they run, but they're not famous for running.
No,
So
terrible
it
metallurgy on
does
them.
reach. It wouldn't be my first choice. I tend to build a toolkit for each bike
I
of
do too.
my own preference.
I do too. And for all the fancy pants haters out there, they can just eat it. I go over to Harbor Freight and I buy the cheapest crap that I can find because it's just going to get rusty and nasty on a bike. So what
Well,
I'll do is I'll buy a metric set, or have any SAE bikes, or standard bikes. So it's always a cheap metric set of whatever I need, and then I raid those toolkits and get just the pieces that I need, and I wrap them up in oilcloth and put them in a Ziploc bag or whatever to stay on the bike.
yeah, my shop tools are a little bit more pricey, but I wouldn't
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
put a snap-on on a
No,
bike and leave it.
no. Howdy, Barry. Sorry, I'm getting back into the comments now. Yeah, I used to have a lot of really expensive tools when I lived in Austin. And unfortunately, I was on the road a lot when I was working for Navi. And while I was away on a business trip for 4 days, I came back home and my garage got emptied out while I was away. There was no breaking and entering that I could find. They either had a key or they used a code roller to open my garage door. And they cleaned me out of about $110,000 worth of everything, Macto, Snap-on, anything you can imagine, machine tools, everything. They cleaned out my garage. And the stupid thing was when I pulled into the garage, I was, it was late, like 2 in the morning. I was tired. I was jet lagged. Pulled in and got out of the car and I went inside, went into the bathroom, started washing my face, brushing my teeth. And I was halfway through brushing my teeth and I went, wait a minute. Then it dawned on me something was missing from the garage. I was replaying it in my head. Something didn't look right. Walked back out to the garage and looked. Everything was gone. All my tool cabinets. I mean, $5,000, rolling tool cabinets, rolling workbenches, you name it, gone. So since then, I haven't bought any more expensive shit. I just have the cheap stuff, and it works.
I had
So,
a
howdy, Barry
lot of
from Knoxville.
ammo. I had a lot of ammo and reloading stuff stolen from my garage in Seattle the same way.
Yeah, I had a storage unit that got emptied out. About a little over $10,000 worth of ammo, about 15,000 actually. Cannot remember how many rounds of ammo we had, but it was employees that worked at the self-storage unit. They were watching on video and they knew who had what, and they went in late night when nobody was there and cleaned out several units that had a lot of weapons, firearms, reloading stuff. I only lost a few firearms in that deal, but I lost $10,000 worth of ammo. Not happy. Where am I? Stephanie, get dialed in on full start now. We already got. Yes, Barry, you're Knoxville. I just came through Knoxville a couple months back when I was coming back from my Life of Birch meetup trip in Annapolis. I came back through and rode through Tennessee. Good road up there. VW is saying on New York City itself, yeah, motorized bicycles and all that, they're getting a little unfriendly about motorized vehicles in a lot of these big cities. Moto boys, Brazilian cities, yeah. Well, unfortunately, you got more moto bandits in Brazil. You got nice guys, it seems like. My wife is from Brazil. We go down there and visit every few years. Kevin is saying the manual looks correct. Hopefully that's the right one. John, rolling on 3. More electric bikes, scooters would be great. Yeah. Yeah. Battery technology's got to come up before that works. Brad, you put a deposit on a Duke 390. Get out and moto camp that thing. I've ridden the Dukes, the little 390s a few times. I like them. I've been tempted to get one a couple times, but the early ones had a bad habit of hand grenading their transmissions, and I didn't want to get into that game. I actually halted the delivery of my 790 Adventure because of that. They were having clutch and transmission failures, so said, no, I'll keep my 12,000. Thor, hey buddy, haven't seen you on the channel in a little while. Top speed on the Navi. I got 53 out of it yesterday, but it's still a new bike, 53 miles per hour. I don't know what that works out in kph over there. I think when it breaks in a little bit, we'll get better top speed out of it, probably 55 to 56 miles per hour without any modifications. Should be okay.
I also noticed the acceleration is best just below the top. You
Yes.
don't want to hold the accelerator
Yeah.
all the way in. About 95% is where I found the best performance.
And that could also be due to jetting, air fuel ratio, depending on your elevation. You may be a little lean at wide open throttle or a little overly rich, which produces power. So these are carbureted bikes, and I'm sure that people are going to have to tune them a little bit. Yep. I haven't looked at the factory shop manual on that carburetor yet, but it looked like the air fuel mixture screw was just left of the idle set, and it was capped up with a brass plug. So we're probably going to have to pry that brass plug out of there to get to the mixture screw. Usually that's an emissions thing. They seal that up. They don't like people messing with it, but elevation, you're going to have to. So yeah, Nick is saying I had to go to Harbor Freight when I was in San Antonio for that exhaust. Yeah, because it ate its baffle. Do a little roadside surgery. Those tools in the bike are supposed to be worth more than the bike. Yeah,
they would.
Right. With those snap-on tools rolling on 3. Send an email. Oh, Keith, send an email 4 minutes ago. Hey, Keith. All right.
So my son said he was going to throw in $5 every week into the document compartment just for emergency. And I told him, you don't want to do that for too long. Otherwise, the money will be worth more than the bike.
Okay. So I'm trying to do this from a mobile phone. I apologize, Keith. Hang on just a second. Why doesn't it show me your information? There it is. Copy. I look really strange right now, I'll bet. I'm dealing with substandard equipment in a totally ad hoc environment here. All right.
What do your neighbors think about you floodlighting their house?
Well, luckily we got high enough fences. It's okay. Copy to clipboard. I guess it copied it. Come on, man. Come on. This is not the most seamless experience here. Reply. Coming at you, Keith, if you're still there, buddy. Why can't I get it? Nope, it's not going. Oh, you piece of stuff. I need to be doing this on a laptop instead of on little tablets. So let's try one more time. Invite a guest. Trying to get this. Copy. I said copy to clipboard, but it didn't take it over there. So now I got to go window to window to window to window to window.
I'm looking at how this side panel comes off, and it looks, you got 2 screws on top.
Okay, coming back at you, Keith.
And 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom, but it looks like you got to take out the storage in order to take the screws out at the bottom.
Okay.
I thought it would be a lot easier, going from the Riker with the pins that it uses. I thought this would be similar and just come off real quick, but
gotta figure out where my camera is. Sorry to interrupt. I'm not ignoring you. Lear's Lens just became a channel member. Thanks, Lear's. Appreciate it. So you think that the whole panel's gonna come out?
The storage box has to come out in order to take off the side panel.
Oh yeah. And also for doing the valve maintenance, we've got to take that storage box out of there because the access to the top of the motor is right there behind that panel.
Yep.
Hey Sarge, decided to do a road trip, have lead time to plan or go on a whim? I usually plan it a few days in advance. My schedule is full enough these days that I can't just take off when the bug bites me. So I try to do at least like a 2 or 3 day advance thing. If it's going to be a big trip going multi-state or staying out for more than a handful of days, then I definitely plan that one a couple weeks in advance. Keith is here. I'm going to add him to the stream. We're going to have 4 of us in here. Hey, buddy.
Quasi, what's up, bro?
Hey, what's going on, man? I don't know if I
All
can do a
good,
better
man.
layout on this screen, but we're all
Do
in
you
here.
need me to turn landscape? Will it look better for you?
I don't know. It might. I can't figure it out. I'm doing this from a cheap-ass Amazon tablet, so I don't know what's happening.
Let me
Mine didn't
try.
rotate. Oh,
There you
wait,
go.
come on.
All right, I got a
Hey,
rotation.
there you go. Yeah, now we're all looking straight.
All right, let me see. I got to slide this around. I'm in my studio right now. Hold on.
Yeah, you
bad.
go. You got the honor and the green screen, man.
Yeah.
I'm sitting out in my driveway. I don't have a studio to do this stuff yet, but I am working over my warehouse for this.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to turn it into a man cave and project area.
That's what I got. A man cave converted, a little 6x4 spot for me just for my live streams.
Nice.
Yeah, I think we're good now.
Stephanie's saying that she had a 0 FXS. Yeah, the FXS had a small battery, didn't it, Stephanie? I think it was at 5.7 or something like that. I was looking at the 0 for a while. I was going to get the the big one, the SR, but 20 grand, that's a lot of money to drop.
Wow.
I am waiting before I do electric because I think it needs to be proved out more than what it is, especially for bikes.
I don't know. I like electric.
I like
like
the
electric
idea of
too.
electric.
We just have to get the battery technology up there to a point where the range is there and also the charging is fast enough to make it feasible for people's everyday lives.
That's
Most people
fact.
cannot afford to sit around for 2 hours waiting for their car to charge up. It's doesn't
No,
fit into our
not
busy lifestyle here in the States.
no,
I
not
would
at all.
like to. I would like to see battery interchanges where you pull out one battery and put it in the next.
Yeah. What we
So
need
it
is the
sits and
charging
charges.
infrastructure. You bet.
Yep.
The
Well,
only
that's
reason we're
why
gasoline dependent is because there's so many filling stations and it's easy energy.
that's why the electric is so friendly out in the city, because they swap out the batteries. People could take them upstairs to their apartments,
Yep.
swap them out. You know, they could even move the bikes into their apartments, and they're less likely, like I said before, law enforcement is less likely to go after the electric thing. Because once they
Right.
hear an exhaust coming down the block, it's a minute everybody jumps up. Oh, got to get this guy. He doesn't have registration insurance. But when you get electric, you bypass all of that and they leave you alone. This seems to be the popular thing out here.
Got the air filter out, I see.
Yeah.
Standard.
Smells very rich, but you can smell gas
Man,
coming
I'm
out of
telling
it.
you, mine smells like a refinery. It's running so rich. I guarantee that air fuel mixture is too rich. Now, I did receive a comment from somebody. I'm kind of assuming he's from India, just based on his name. I don't mean to be prejudicial. It just seems like an Indian name. He's saying that these bikes are set to run rich from the factory to help with bed-in and break-in of the motor, which sounds perfectly reasonable. But if they've capped off the mixture screw, it's a permanent thing. And they don't have anything in the manual about adjusting your mixture screw after break-in. So I don't know if that's a valid argument. And it seems to be running pretty rich. So is that your
Definitely something
take
to play with.
on the Navi? Is just because the gas-powered vehicles versus electric, you think?
I mean, it seems to be like reasonable for the cost and the mobility of it. I could see it being, a favorable thing because, you got a lot of Groms out here. And, and that's another thing that they just don't. It's just New York City has changed their attitude when it comes to bikes, period. So
Okay.
it's just become this little bad boy thing. Like if you got it, the first thing a cop has to do is pull you over. So that's why I think that something like that, even though it's not like a problem, it's just perceived that way. So it's just a weird feeling. It's a weird time. Bro.
Yeah. I'm going to answer a couple of questions here just so they don't think I'm ignoring them. 650, any road buddies going to get a Navi as well? Nobody yet. Adrian is pretty happy with his Super Cub, so I don't know if he's going to jump in. But if anybody else in the area is getting a Navi and they want to ride around, we'll create a Navi squad. And then Brad is replying back on the comment about the 390 Dukes. My local shops and a few racers that I know that were doing, some track racing with 390s, particularly the RC 390, which is the same motor. Those things were known for blowing up their clutches. So you might find a little bit more information about that on the RC 390 stuff.
I'm starting to rebuild Quasi. I'm gonna start a rebuild. My 2012 CPS.
I've seen that thing on your channel.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start the rebuild this year. Get it up and running and take it out for a spin and see how it works out. I'm gonna do everything, top to bottom, stripping it down, new paint, cleaning up everything. I was even thinking about seeing if I could convert it to electric, but I said, let me get it running first before I start doing that.
Well, you need to set up a camera to do a time lapse. If you can keep the bike fixed in one area and turn the camera on and let it time lapse, that way you can kind of see the evolution of it as it goes along. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'll try
Dwayne is saying that his wife bought a Navi or an e-bike, and the Navi is less money. Yeah, internal combustion, ICE engines, they're still going to be cheaper because it's old technology, 150-year-old technology.
Right.
I could see the Navi being a good platform for an electric conversion. Because where you have the storage box, you could easily put a battery pack there.
Well, I had several people ask me already, is that electric? And I'm like, don't you hear the engine running? How is it electric? But it does look like it's electric with that box on there. It looks like a big battery box.
The green reminds me of the Ryobi from Home Depot. So just get some of those battery packs and throw it in there.
Yeah. And somebody, I don't remember, I think it was in Zach Port's video on it with Revzilla when he did the press release ride. One of the very first comments that got, bajillion thumbs up was, I didn't know Ryobi was making motorcycles. Because it's almost the Ryobi yellow-green color. It's hilarious.
That's funny. That is funny.
So,
but it would be cool if you could just
You're never late,
batteries.
I was just finishing my game. I don't know. I can't see in your chat.
Oh, it looks like 43, but I don't know if the count's accurate. It's hard to tell. I can stay on here and talk.
I don't see anything on this side.
Well, let me rephrase. I can stay on here and talk until it starts getting cold, because we're still, 80 degrees here. When that front blows in, it's going to come in with a fury, and it's going to get really windy and nasty here. I'm lucky the mosquitoes aren't biting because I'm sitting out here in it.
We had 50 degrees all week out in New York.
That's not bad.
No, it's great. It's 53 now. If we didn't
cool.
If we didn't have all this COVID, man, they probably would have had 1 million people in Times Square last night. But I think they kept it to like 20,000 or something like that, which is almost weird
for me.
It's almost weird to look out at the Times Square and you actually can see pavement. I found that very hard.
Yeah. Normally it's a sea of humanity. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember doing the ball drop stuff up there.
You're corralled in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's it. Once you get locked in, you're locked in.
Yeah. Motoski's saying we need to put Ryobi stickers on these things. Yeah, man. I've already thought about that. If I didn't here in Texas, if you get a custom license plate, you have to pay yearly for it, and it's not cheap. It's like $120 a year for a custom plate. But I thought about getting Ryobi as they get license on it.
Send Ryobi that email for that endorsement.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. Buy me some swag. Give me a bunch of tools.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
All my plates are scientists. So like my Riker is Volta. My wife's car is Curie. And so this one's going to be Gauss.
Nice.
So
Zia's saying it's 73 right now in Atlanta. Yeah, I'm sitting here in Houston. It's 80 degrees right now in my driveway, and I don't even know what time it is. 8:40 at night. So yeah, by 2 o'clock this morning, I think we're supposed to be down in the 40s, and then 7 a.m. we're going to have 34. So it's going to get cold.
Wow, temperature change.
Yeah, yeah. So we go from the high today was 87. So we're going to go from 87 to 34.
Crazy.
Yeah, welcome to
Good.
Houston, man. It's like this all the time. In the winter, you know, it's this the big joke in Houston is you don't like the weather? Wait a minute, it'll change. Oh, you do like the weather? Wait a minute, it'll change.
That's pretty funny. I like that one.
Isaac's saying he's going to get his dad a Navi as a starter bike. Well, if the idle screw thing isn't, if that's all of it, it's easy. You just set the idle adjust. That's pretty easy to do with a standard screwdriver. But if it's a starter bike, how old is he and where's he going to be riding?
Hmm.
I don't want to make any assumptions, but if you've got an
Yep.
elderly rider starting out on any bike is tough. You got to think about
And the size.
coordination
The big guy,
and
small guy.
reflexes and everything. Yeah, big guy, small guy, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the little short clip that I put in that first video. We rode 3 up on the little Navi. I had my daughter in front of me, my youngest daughter. I'm in the middle, of course, and my wife on the back of it. So our combined weight was probably 340, 350. So we were already 20 pounds over max gross weight on this thing. Handled it fine. Didn't go very fast. Didn't accelerate fast, but it rode fine. The suspension actually handled it. Didn't bottom out. Did all right.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good. It's a nice pickup.
Yeah, on the bottom,
I-
it's got a good squirt. It has real good mechanical advantage on the bottom, but the CVT bogs out at about 15 miles an hour, and I think a CVT upgrade would fix that. Now, that bike that you've got, Keith, is that CVT or is that got a
it's CVT carb.
Okay.
Let me see. I got the specs here. Front and rear disc brakes. Automatic gearbox is carb. Top speed 65. 12 horsepower. 9.28 displacement cubic inches. Single cylinder 4-stroke. 2.5 gallons. 17-inch tires.
Oh, good. Oh, so it's got good sized wheels on it. Yeah, I couldn't tell in the video or you had a couple videos from way back, like what, 6 years ago or something, 5, 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was sitting in
It
my.
looked like
It
it was
was
maybe
sitting.
15 or 16, but cool.
It was sitting. Yeah, I know. It was sitting in my. The company that made it was pretty weird. So the company made it was CPI, and I guess they tried to do a USA launch. They sold a few out here, maybe a couple of hundred. I think the company went out of business in America, and then it went right back to Malaysia, or that's where you see them at. Because truthfully, the only place I could get parts was from eBay.
Right.
And it was actually sitting in my mechanic shop for about 7 years. And then when he decided to move to a new place, he pulled it out and he was like, "Hey, I found this in the back."
You found your old bike. You want it?
Yeah. And I was like, "Well, is it in one piece?" He was like, "Yeah, it's just covered in 2 inches of exhaust dust." But
Right,
so I
right.
was like, "All right, pull it out." We jumped
We're
it. It
growing
cranked.
plants on top of the dust right now, but yeah.
Yeah, anything that was
Lawnmower, go in
rubber.
there and trim it.
Anything that was rubber completely disintegrated on the bike. Right. But we got it to crank. I said, well, and that's good enough. I said, hey, I'll take it. And I said, what's the big deal? So now I'm gonna see if I could get it going. I think it just really needs some carb work. Maybe I'll just replace it or I'll have it rebuilt. And I think really that's all it is. I mean, battery
You probably just need
wise.
seals and gaskets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If
I
it's
think
been
it's
sitting a
like
really long time, you might want to pull the jug off of the engine, pull the cylinder, pull the head, pull the cylinder, and hone it. Get one of those ball hone things that you put in a drill. Just clean it up a bit.
Okay.
Isaac is replying back about his dad. So he's 50, small Asian dude, wants one for having fun. If he doesn't want a wrench, the easy answer is get a fuel injected bike. The problem with carbureted bikes these days is ethanol fuels. Ethanol will F up a free lunch, man. It'll kill your carburetors left and right.
Horrible stuff.
I've only got a handful of carb bikes in my stable right now, and you've got to be real careful about putting fuel stabilizer in them and draining the carb before you park them for any length of time. And I mean, even a week. Sometimes it only takes a week to screw up your jets. So if you're going to be leaving it sit for a few days or a week or whatever, leave it running, but close the fuel petcock, and that's the easy way to drain through your what's in the carb. So that'll empty out the bowl for the most part. You'll still have a little bit in there, but it's easier than pulling the drain screw or dropping the bowl off the carburetor. Beyond that,
I use
carb bikes work okay.
non-ethanol here.
If you can get
100% gas. Yeah,
it's hard to find down here. The only place that has it down here is Buc-ee's.
You can't find that at all. Not in New
Three-wheel
York.
session. All right, that's one of your fam, isn't it, Keith?
Yeah, three-wheel. That's one of my channel members. I guess everybody was on to see who got into the giveaway, the $300 giveaway I did.
Yeah,
so
I forgot that was going on tonight. I had scheduled this live at 6:45. I had no idea it's still going here 2 hours later.
It was an impromptu. I think I was only on for 15 minutes. I just spun the wheel.
Gotcha.
And
cool.
I wasn't gonna do a full show. I was like, I have so much stuff to do. And it's New Year's, I was up till 6 a.m. with a house full of people. So
yeah.
Ignoring COVID protocols.
Oh yeah. The bug knows when you've got more than 10 people, so you got to be careful. It can count.
No, we got those tracers out here, man. They count your cell phones if there's too many cell phones.
Oh yeah. Brown shirts, digital brown shirts now. Yeah, that's nonsense.
Yeah, so, too many cell phones. You'll start getting text messages from the government.
He's saying 3 up, 5 people, adults, kids is a regular sight in Pakistan. Yeah, well, India and a lot of the Asian countries, hell, man, you'll see 5 or 6 people plus a dog or a goat on Super Cubs and stuff like that. So, yeah, these bikes will carry anything. We don't have QT down here, Kevin. We don't. I think the only place I've been able to find that has ethanol free here, at least in Houston, is Buc-ee's. That's it.
No, we've got it all over.
We can't get it. It's horrible. Everything's 10% ethanol. Everything. No matter what. And we used to have a place in New York where you could get jet fuel or super fuel. I think 99 or 105 octane.
Yeah. We used to have Sunoco's that sold 102 to 110 test, depending on what you wanted. Right. And you could get it at the pump. You could just go there with a 10-gallon can and load it on 110, man. It's like
that was back in like 2000. Back in 2000, but then they kind of, I don't know why it went away. I don't know. I guess.
So JP Racing Fuel still sells 105 octane at the pump.
Oklahoma's got a lot of JP stuff up there. Three-wheel saying he got his Navi ordered in nut brown. That's the one I'm waiting on. Three-wheel for the giveaway on my channel. So that's the second bike I have reserved is the brown one. I told him I want any color, but I updated and said no, I need the brown because I've already got the green now. I don't want another green.
So how do we get that giveaway?
I haven't figured it out yet. I need to work with Thrill Mouse and Keith. I've got some good ideas, and we'll figure it out.
We'll do some cross promotion for you, definitely, man.
Well, I'm concerned about the legalities and staying within the letter of the YouTube law on the giveaways because they're real stringent about, you gotta put all the stipulations out there and make sure everybody understands the rules. And if you're doing a raffle, there are different rules versus a free giveaway.
There's a lot.
Verbiage and So I've got to read through that and understand the dynamics of it before I start the process because I don't want to get in trouble giving something away, trying to be nice, and I get in trouble for it.
No, you're right. I mean, YouTube is a fickle beast. I already got a strike on my channel for the guy riding his Riker in the skate park. Can you believe it?
You got a strike. It wasn't even you. That's fair use.
But here's the thing. YouTube sends me an email said I was promoting bad behavior, even though the banner on the bottom of the screen said, I do not condone this type of behavior. Can you believe it?
You would stop it you literally stopped every 5 to 10 seconds saying, this is not the right thing to do.
Right. So I had to file an appeal through YouTube, and it took about 30 days. So I guess they came back in my favor, of course, I guess, after they reviewed it. But initially,
probably some douchebag snowflake, just looking to.
See, and this is why I don't do social media, because I don't want to know all the rules. I don't want to be concerned with it. I just want to spout out off,
Yeah.
and if I offend somebody, I offend them.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
you're
to the
gonna
point I
offend.
can't stop it.
Initially, when I started the YouTube channel 3 years ago, whatever it's been, I was careful to start my vlogs from somewhere besides my house. And I would end it before I got back home because you never know. I mean, there's a lot of crazies out there. And I didn't really want people knowing where I live. But once I started doing the ride vlogs and everything else, I realized it's going to be impossible to stay anonymous because people are either going to recognize me, they're going to recognize the roads I'm riding, and then they're just going to drive through the neighborhood and figure out, oh, that's his house because they'll see the bike sitting outside.
They're
So I just
smart.
gave up on that. I don't care.
Yeah.
I had some dude dox me, or he tried to dox me, and he was actually doxing the previous owner of the house, and said, "You should be more careful about, making your videos, Brian. You call me Brian because that was the previous owner of the house." He did an image search on
Yeah.
YouTube, and you probably
Yeah.
can't see it over there, but my what is it, the picnic table thing that I've got sitting over there, and the umbrella. He did an image search on that behind my iron gate and figured out what my address was. Okay, why are you being a douchebag about it? So anyway, yeah,
What a
I
waste
figured
of time.
was that?
What a waste of time. What do you gain by doing that?
I don't know. I have no clue what the motivation was other than being a douchebag. He succeeded.
It's
He was doxing the wrong person. He was calling me out as Brian.
it's insane what
He
it's
was talking about people
you
can
know.
find belongings in your home. You've got all these nice paintings and these nice belongings in your home because the people that lived here before had antiques and other stuff like that. And apparently they had taken photos inside the home, posted them online. So he was thinking that was all my stuff. And he was apparently jealous or
Yeah, it's
whatever.
amazing how it's amazing how deep the people you run into or that are online. But there's every walks of life, and you got to understand. You maybe sometimes you just even though you're online, there's people here that you're not dealing with a full deck, and you might say to yourself, "Why is he being like this?" But it's the same thing. You might meet him in person and go, "Oh, now I know why." It's just because you don't see the face. It's weird to you. But sometimes these people are really just a little bit off, and they
Yeah,
just
yeah.
they just go through
Well,
channels.
yeah, Keith, you and I have been in that field, so you and I have talked, so I know where you can. People know that I was ex law enforcement, so you deal with all kinds out there, and I don't like getting into the politically charged conversation of IQs and all that, but you got to think about IQs on average. It's a bell curve, and the average IQ is right around 94, 96 in the USA right now. That means a lot of people fall well on the far side, the left side of that curve, and it's real hard to deal with people that are running with half a deck.
Right.
They don't operate at the
And
same speed as most others.
And everybody votes.
And everybody.
We
Well,
hope
like I
it.
said in that recent video, everybody's got an opinion. Doesn't mean they know what they're talking
Yeah.
You just got to be very diplomatic nowadays. Now in the world we live in, you have to be very careful because everybody is perfect except you.
Yeah.
I agree with Excelsior.
Yeah, I put that up there. I thought that was good. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks for the bump. I can't tell you. One of these days, I'm going to try to figure out a way to go through all of my YouTube comments because they come in mixed areas. They'll come in on some videos, they don't come in on others. I get a lot of emails from people directly, but conservatively, I've probably got 200 or more people that have sent me messages saying, "I got this bike because of you, because of your videos and all that." So you remember that Zoom we had several months ago, Keith, where we were talking about the influence, being an influencer or whatever, and Thrill Mouse, he was saying, "I don't like that term or whatever," but my point was, just by using a product, promoting, saying whether you like it, you don't like it, living the lifestyle with it, you're promoting that idea, you're promoting that product, and your experience of it plays into other people's decisions. So whether we like it or not, we're influencers.
Right. Yeah.
I don't really set out to do that. I just do it to share
Right,
the
but you
software I
never
can,
know. You
show
never
people
know
what works for
how.
me and what doesn't.
Right, you don't know how much weight your opinion holds.
That's true. That's true.
You don't know. You could just be like you say. You could post one video about something you bought and get 1 million views, and now all of a sudden you're the go-to guy or girl of that product, even though you just bought it like everybody else off a shelf, but you just wanted to show it off. So you never know. So yes,
Yeah.
I do believe nowadays companies should look more for their influencers than their general marketing ideas, because it's changing. You
Yeah, and
know,
general marketing isn't as effective as it used to be because
no.
we're not
Let
using
me answer
media
this
the
one real
same way.
quick. Hold the thoughts. I want to keep going on that topic. Isaac is asking, "Oh my God, when's the giveaway and how to do it?" I got to figure it out, Isaac. But I am serious, and the bike is already paid for. So there's a second Honda Navi coming to the Quasi Garage soon. Hopefully the nut brown color. It's going to be given away on the channel. So I'll be sure to keep everyone in the loop on the drawing or the giveaway, or however it's going to work. And my goal is to, I don't want to get into a raffle thing if I can avoid it, because that means I'm taking money in, and I don't like that idea. But if it generates enough viewership and traffic to the channel, it's going to be a wash. I'm not eating $2,600, so it'll come back pretty slowly, surely. And somebody else gets a great deal out of the bargain. So yeah, back to what you were saying about the manufacturers changing their ideas on marketing tactics and how social media is really affecting it. It's huge. It's huge. I mean, that's why all these people on TikTok and the Keith, you were mentioning Amazon. A lot of the stuff on Amazon is live streaming, it's product reviews and all that. So what else was the Amazon streaming?
Well, Amazon sent me about their streaming platform that it was just, they want to start growing it to more past the product review stage. So they want to do
So
some more.
they want to get into YouTube's business.
Yeah, so I got a
So Bezos
survey.
ain't rich enough yet.
Yeah, so I got a survey email from Amazon through my Amazon business account or whatever, and they were talking about, how long would you watch a live stream on Amazon, and just trying to get their
Gotcha.
logistics ready. So I do believe there'll be content now streaming on Amazon, which is genius, because if you throw in product reviews and product placement, you'll kill it. I mean, you kill it. Direct
Yeah,
link.
So Zia
and me
is
as a
trying to convince me
consumer,
to just give him the Navi and not tell anybody about it. The only way that's
no,
going to happen,
give
Zia,
it to me.
is if
I
you
volunteer to
ride.
take it.
No, you got to ride your Harley over here, drop it off in my driveway, and swap for the Navi and ride it back.
For the
And
road glide?
you have to do a 30-day promise challenge to only ride the Navi, and I'll hold your hog here as ransom.
The road glide?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think I answered that already, Isaac. So yes, I haven't thought about giving away any other bikes. Probably could. I've got 24 in the garage now, but the Navi is the one that's going to be the giveaway. It's new. Everybody's interested in it. Should be fun. Doing this for fun. Let's drive it up. Yeah, Kevin's saying they recognize my voice. That one's funny, Kevin. I told you that story about the hardware store when I went over to get some nuts and bolts and stuff before the Cannonball Run trip on the Super Cup. I asked a guy, I said, I'm looking for some fasteners, and he's helping me out with all that. And he's looking at me funny the whole time I'm standing next to him for like 3 or 4 minutes, and I can't figure out what the guy's problem is. And somebody else came up behind us, another guy looking for some fasteners for a motorcycle. And he asked, do you know where I can find this? And I said, yeah, I'm looking for the same thing. And he turned and looked at me real startled. He went, are you Quasi Motard? He recognized my voice. That's weird, man. That's really, really weird. And he starts talking to me about like he knows me. Okay.
That's great.
Yeah, Quasi got a stalker.
On the discussion about Amazon, as a consumer, not a producer of streaming, I encourage as many platforms as possible, because it only improves the content. And then I hope that will result in you guys getting better terms with the content you put out.
I hope so. I mean, but so many platforms are switching up now. I said I stream my podcast on Spotify. It's one of the podcast hosting sites, and now Spotify has just went visual. So now I can upload the actual video while you're listening it, and you can actually see it now on your
That's good.
Spotify account. So everybody's changing left and right.
Is my audio better now? Because this is on a cell phone, guys.
You
Yeah,
sound
yeah.
great on my end.
Okay. I had
Yeah,
Kevin
good.
and Steven were saying adjust the audio. I moved the camera around and it went to hell after that, apparently.
No, you good. Definitely.
Dwayne is saying, is he the only one getting Ranger green? I don't know. I kind of like that nut brown, and I really like this green. But I think that dark hunter green is going to be pretty popular.
Doesn't the nut brown have a different tire, different rim?
Nope, it just looks better because it's black on that dark brown. Okay. Stephanie, if I missed you already, I apologize. Good evening to you. Thanks for tuning in. This one's running long. We're just chewing the rag now.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to see anything on the bike we haven't done?
Yeah, that's a good question. Pull anything off of it? Tim is having fun over there pulling the nose cone off of his.
You already worked on it, Quasi? You already started taking it apart?
No, Tim did. He pulled the headlight off of it to go looking at the bulbs.
Yep.
Okay.
It's fairly easy. And on the bottom center of the headlight assembly, there's a bolt. And all it does is allow you to adjust the light up and down so you can angle it slightly.
Yeah, the alignment.
But there's two bolts on either side to remove it, and then there's a tab at the top. Got to be careful with that tab. I see that's going to be a problem.
Okay. Yes, Stephen, I am packing 99% of the time. Right now, I'm not, because I'm sitting in my own driveway, and I know where one is within 15 feet of me if I need it.
I'm carrying as well.
I'm ex-LEO,
so
I've been carrying since I was 21, legal or illegal, or labeled or unlabeled. I'm carrying.
It's not about the size of the piece; it's how quick you are to the draw.
That's right.
I always have.
Every time he gets into that whole gun control argument, gun control, accurate shot placement. There's your gun control.
Facts. Tell people everybody could carry a gun. It's who can get it out the fastest is the winner.
That's right. Yeah, John's saying conceal carry and have bear spray in a side cup. When I do my adventure moto camping and I'm out in the woods, I usually do have a can of bear spray or full-on law enforcement grade capsicum with me, just in case. But normally, if you run into any overly curious wildlife, all you got to do is make some noise and they run off. Run into a brown bear or something like that, you might have to pop off a round or two, but usually the noise scares them off. I've been in that situation a few times. Mountain lions, it's a different situation. If you're near a den, they will come after you no matter what.
I had a dog come at me on the Riker, and I used some pepper spray on him. Cheap pepper spray, but pepper spray all the same.
Yeah. Anything helps. Usually just a small deterrent. Kevin's saying he's one of the only USA ADV 150 video makers. There's not a lot of accessories for the ADV 150. But you should look up some of the Cannonball Run guys because they were fashioning all kinds of custom gear for their ADVs. They were making custom side carriers for jerry cans and refrigerated drink containers, like big old 3-gallon coolers, essentially, full of ice water and stuff like that with a straw that came up to their helmet. They weren't messing around, man. Zia is saying... always say there are two types of opinions, mine and the wrong ones. There's another way to word that one, Zia. All those people out there that think they're right all the time really annoy those of us that are. I thought I was wrong once, but I was just mistaken.
You're welcome to have a wrong opinion anytime you want.
That's right. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. You don't get in trouble with it until you show it off in public.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Well, I learned how to deal with that for many years. My answer to silly questions and silly opinions is a good head nod.
Yeah, yeah. Especially when you're dealing with a complete buffoon that's just so full of themselves. You just go, right.
Don't try to logic it out. It
It's a
doesn't
great
work.
idea. That's fantastic.
That makes you the fool, right? That makes you the
It
fool.
does.
I love your seagull management comment that
Oh.
you made that last time. That was some funny shit, man. I hadn't heard that term before. That was good.
That's my agency in a nutshell.
Yep. Bosses that just
Derek,
come
my
in
wife
and
is right.
make a lot of noise, shit on everything, and leave.
And fly right out. Oh yeah, that's my back office in a nutshell.
Hey, Dwayne,
Seagull
sorry, man.
management.
You're probably long gone by now. Good night to you.
Oh man, that's crazy.
There we go. Guy is saying undecided between the Super Cub and the Trail. Decision on the Cub was based on my reviews. Red Navi, nice. Yeah, that's probably the most common question that I get about the Super Cub and the Trail is which one, because I own both. It's that, what are your riding chores? Where do you live? It's really what it boils down to. If there's any off-road riding involved or you need to go over 50 miles an hour consistently, Trail just doesn't like to do that. So the Super Cub is the better answer. Excelsior. Kevin wants me to honk the horn. No, not tonight. It's already 9 o'clock. I'm out here
It's
talking
not
in my
impressive.
driveway. My neighbors probably think I'm insane as it is.
The horn is not impressive. The Riker has a better horn, and that's not saying much.
Yeah, it's shrill. It's shrill, but I don't know, man. The original Riker horn is like a clown car. It's ridiculous.
Oh no, but that thing
I
is
took
horrible.
that shit off the second day I owned the bike.
That thing is horrible, man. They didn't go, oh my goodness. Oh, hey, that's funny. Derek says, how long before
That's
the
funny.
Navi came on? Right?
Yeah. I need to figure out how to promote you to a moderator on this one, Keith. You could run through these comments here too. The skate
I'll
park.
have to find a skate park and get that video.
Actually, hey, Derek, I saw a video. I'll try to throw a link in it in the comments later after this is done. I saw one where people are actually running a Navi around in a skate park, down in the bowl and doing all kinds. And they got all these fancy, flashy graphics and all that. And I was looking at it immediately, going, "Okay, skip." Let's see.
The question was, though, I had to ask, if you had the opportunity, though, to professionally take your bike into a skate park, would you try it?
The Riker or which bike?
Take any of them, really. I mean, if you really had the opportunity to do it professionally, you had it all set up and everything,
Try anything once.
Right? I'm an ex-moto supercross guy, so doing big air is nothing big. It's no feat. Now I'm not as spry as I used to be, and I don't heel like I used to, so I wouldn't want to eat shit and have the long, hard healing path. But yeah, throwing
I would probably
16,
do it
18
too.
foot air off the back of a bowl. Yeah, we used to do that all the time.
Oh, okay. Definitely. Well, yeah, I would need to shave off 30 years before I try something crazy.
Yeah. My joints, my brain still knows how to do it. My joints don't. John is asking, how hard would it be to put a cold air on the intake?
I think that's going to be hard.
Hey, John Cherokee, what's up, man?
Yeah, John's been on here for a while tonight, man. We got some diehards hanging in here. We're 2.5 hours into this.
Yeah.
There's just not a lot of air.
Oh my God, Gus is still on too. Hey, Gus, on the Rebel.
I guess
guys could show how far the exhaust sticks out and what we plan on doing with it. Besides a hacksaw, it's going away.
It is.
It was in my first video, Gus. How far this thing sticks out. See if I can.
So from
my headlamp is not going to like it, but it really sticks out. It's dark here.
I've got it about 8 inches from the basic bike.
Wow.
So it is substantial.
8 inches.
It really sticks out, and it sticks out further than the foot pegs. We're not bright enough to really see it tonight, but you can see it in that first video that I made. It sticks out at least 3 inches wider than the driver foot peg.
Wow.
Really, it's an afterthought, man. I don't think that belonged on that bike.
Why the clearance? Why such a large clearance?
I
though?
don't know. It's kind of silly.
Yeah, I never seen something like that.
There's so many options they could have done there, and I don't care for that option.
Could that have been something they retrofit off a previous model? Is that why?
I have to think most of the parts are. Which is good for us because it makes the replacements cheap, but
Right.
and it also gives a aftermarket more opportunity to sell us stuff.
Absolutely.
But as far as the cold air intake, you could do it if you came out of the bike on the left side. Very similar to how the exhaust is on the right. You could do it on the left. But I don't think you'd be very satisfied with that answer. There's just not a lot of space on top of the motor to go directly into the carb. So I think you'd have to come out the side of the bike in order to do cold air.
Okay.
I did a count recently, Kevin, but I've got to recount because I've shuffled some things around. I can't recall exactly, but I think I've got 15 Hondas that are in the stable right now. More than any other brand.
Nice.
Derek's saying he's not taking his Riker in there. Come on, man. You don't want to be a star. You want to be famous.
He's got a Spider. I want to see a Spider do that.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Spider's heavy as hell, though, man. That's a heavy bike.
Yeah, you don't want that one rolling over on you like that guy.
No, man.
I think we're going to see a lot of Navis.
It would have been poetic justice if his Riker had been the rally without the fender on the back.
Oh,
he would have had his nuts ground off. Just
forget it. I'll never understand it. I mean, I understand the whiskey throttle concept, but I'll never understand holding on for dear life. You know,
no, that's just damn stupid. That's not whiskey throttle. That's ignorant, man. That's ignorant. That's just plain ignorant.
Oh man,
John's giving you a shout out, Keith.
Yo, what's up, John Cherokee? What's up, bro? Appreciate you, channel member, of course, man. Thank you very much.
Zia's saying that looks like the Riker with the shad case on the side. It does.
My Riker has that. My Riker has that shad case.
Yeah.
Kevin's saying take it off and squeeze it flat. Yeah, to at least make it oval. That would be all right.
Yeah.
Squish that little. Glad I could show it, Gus. If you watch the first video I did, Gus, I've got a daytime shot standing behind the bike, and you can see how wide that exhaust is, how much it sticks out past the foot pegs. It's crazy. It's got to get a new exhaust. This is one of my guys, Keith. He likes your Seagull management.
Seagull management.
This is Gus. He's got a good channel on YouTube with a lot of good Rebel 1100 content. Yeah. I met him up in Annapolis. Rode up there to meet with Life of Birch for his meetup ride that he did. Huge ride. It was great fun. Met a lot of great guys.
I'll check it out right now. He's gonna have a new subscriber right now.
Yeah. Kevin saying on the road. That's what she said. Nice.
I got you. Where's he at on the Rebel?
We still have 33 people in here. We don't have 33 people commenting. Come on. Whoever else is in here that hasn't commented yet, comment. Show yourselves.
Tell on the Rebel I just subscribed.
All right.
Yeah, you got it. Picked up a sub.
Used Guam or a new Navi? Now that's a really good question. I don't know.
I don't buy used. I do not buy used.
I don't know. Well, it's Honda, man. Come on. It's Honda. It's going to live forever.
If it's used and untouched, absolutely. But if it's used and somebody's wrenched on it, I don't want it.
Well, there's a lot of good wrench guys out there, and so buying used, if you're comfortable and a person knows what he's talking about, you get a good maintained bike out there, man. There's a lot
of bad wrench guys out there.
Yes, you got to do your homework.
Well, there's a difference between wrenched and riced. Riced is no good.
Right. Yeah, always no good. Oh yeah, no problem on
Keith,
the Rebel.
he's giving
I
you
got
a handout. Awesome. Kevin's saying he bought something used. What'd you get used? Oh, that's right. It was used when you got it, because I rode your scoot, 15 miles or something like that when I picked it up. Yeah, that was a lucky find. It had. I still need to put that video together. It had like 5 miles on it or 10 miles on it. It was insane. Somebody bought it, decided they didn't like it, sent it back to the dealer. Probably took a $1,500 hickey on that thing.
So I saw a used Grom here in Oklahoma City, and I went to look at it, and the guy had cut the frame and extended it 3 inches and welded it back together.
Well,
No way would I buy that.
Hell
No
no.
way.
of course, something like that. No, because obviously that guy was just trying to build a monster or something.
Beating the hell out of it too, I'm sure.
But
Yeah, and that's the
anybody
thing with
who,
sport bikes. Same deal with sport
Right.
bikes. You never want to buy a 600cc sport bike that's got 10,000 miles on it unless it's an adult owner, somebody
Yep.
that you can think that they're somewhat responsible. If they're under 30 years old, you know that thing has been beat to hell. They've wringed the shit out of it. It's going to have no second and third gear left in it because they've been love shifting it full throttle.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that is a fact.
Dennis Miller, good morning, all. Yes, it is morning. Where are you from? Almost morning here. It's not quite morning yet. So, yeah, almost 3 hours in Houston.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
That's right. Speaking of, I need
Somewhere.
another beer.
Oh man. Let me see who else is there.
Have you had any good used bikes?
Well, usually I purchased all my bikes when I was younger. All of them were probably secondhand. And I never really, it was usually I bought it off of somebody I knew. So I pretty much knew that it was taken care of. So I never like bought anything off a stranger. It was always pretty much, hey, I'm selling my bike this year. I pretty much know how you treated it, so I wouldn't mind buying it. And then the guys I knew that I
That's
rode
okay.
with back in the day, the ones I knew that I rode with back in the day that never had one wheel on the ground at all, it was a wheelie everywhere he went. Yeah, I didn't buy that bike. I let that become someone else's problem.
True, yeah.
Just for
Well, see, I'm
just
such a
for
mechanical.
sentiment.
Sorry, go ahead, Tim.
Just for sentimental reasons, I would love to find another 86 Suzuki GS650 because that was my first bike. But
Yep, I've had one.
everyone I've ever found, they're trash.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I mean, they're such old bikes, and they had a real problem with rusting. I mean, everything rusted on the old bikes. So yeah, Guy Guidon on here is saying he's got an Elite 125. He's going to buy used by Honda. It's true, unless they've just been beat to live in hell.
Yeah.
So I grew up in Michigan. My dad had a 1971 Dodge Dart. He bought brand new on the dealer lot, and he had 980,000 miles on it when it was finally trashed.
Oh, what?
It was trashed. A Dodge Dart, 1971 Dodge Dart.
900,000 miles? Holy hell, man.
Yes. And he took really, really good care of it. The engine was never a problem.
Wow.
But the rust is so bad in Michigan because they use real salt.
You'll have to Flintstone that thing at every stop because your feet are going to be sticking out on the ground.
There was a wood board replacing the floor pan, but you could see the Kmart bags hanging out of all the holes. So that's what I grew up with. That was my first driving experience too.
Steven's asking would I recommend an X-Max 300 or a Bergman 400. I'd probably go for the X-Max because it's got rider aids on it. It's got traction control, ABS, all the stuff. The Bergies had ABS, but they don't have traction control or torque control. Bergie 400s are good. They're great scoots. I haven't owned one of those. I've had two of the 650s. But that X-Max is a pretty nice machine. Peter, drink of choice last night was caipirinhas, which are a Brazilian traditional drink. It's cachaça, which is kind of like Bacardi 151, cane sugar, and lime. and I had enough of those that I had to stop.
Here's another
Yeah.
question for you guys. Any bikes you wish you didn't buy?
Yeah. My 2000 GSX 600.
What's wrong with it?
It just was horrible. To me, it was just plagued with electrical problems. Plagued.
I had a Gixxer 600, the old air oil cooled ones that it just constantly had trouble with it. But I upgraded to the 750s and never had problems. Des Miller's in the UK. Hey, buddy. Thanks for tuning in from across the pond.
319. Morning or afternoon?
GMT over there. Can a true fuel in a can be? Yeah, sure it could. Any ethanol-free fuel, engineered fuels, whatever they call them these days. It's just ethanol-free, stabilized fuel. You could use it in these bikes, the little Navi, but I wouldn't recommend it as a primary fuel source because it's stupid expensive. You're looking at like $14 a gallon.
Woo.
For that, I could just probably bottle and ship it.
A lot of these carbs are they're supposed to be made to handle this ethanol, but I don't know. They say it's supposed to be. Who knows?
Yeah, the seals handle it as far as the rubber seals and your O-rings and all that. They can handle it fine. The problem is the fact that ethanol is hydrophilic. It attracts water. So when the water content in the gas crystallizes, it forms cement. I mean, it's awful. It's like sand and cement, kind of a hybrid weird. It's not even gel like, old gel fuels. It creates these little crystallized rocks, and they get in these tiny, tiny jets. No idle anymore. You got to run the bike on choke, or you're not running.
That, and it's less energy dense than pure gasoline. So if you look at like E85, you're losing a lot of performance, and you're paying more for it typically.
Yeah, it's true. Zia was asking about the Katana Resurrection. I kind of like it. It's a little spendy. The old Katana was a cheap 600, man. Well, even 750. But it's a bit spendy. I think for the money, I would get a GSXF, the naked, instead. The GSXF 750 is
they extend them.
GSXS. Yes.
You see everybody extending the swing arms now on those. Big time.
Yeah. Turning them into wannabusas is what I call them. Kevin, True Fuel is it's stuff that you can buy in the hardware stores for chainsaws and lawnmowers and lawn equipment, stuff like that. It's non-ethanol fuel, and they add a bunch of extra cleansers and stabilizers and stuff in it. That way, when you store your tools over the winter, they don't get gummed up and die. Yep, that straight slant 6. Those were fantastic motors. It was. Guys,
he traded it in. He traded it in 2000 for a Plymouth Voyager, I believe, and he drove that until this last summer.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long-lived machine there. Sam, good to see you, buddy. It's late, man. I can't believe we're still on. It's 2 hours and 50 minutes. I'm not ready to hang up anytime soon until I bore these guys to death. But,
these live streams can get crazy, man.
They go crazy, man. I remember hanging out a couple of years, Keith, for 3 hours and change.
3 hours sometimes.
And the crazy, how did you not have to? How did you not piss yourself? I'm just going to say it. How did you not piss yourself? You never left the chair, man.
I usually go right before I go, and then really when I'm ready to hang up, I'm running right to the bathroom.
Get a catheter, or it depends.
I could, what? It's just high. I guess I could work like a little Snapple bottle down there. Just
pilot relief tubes.
Yeah. Well, a bunch of the guys that I went to school with ended up in the medical profession, and they just get Foley catheters. used to do cross country trips. It's like a condom with a tube on it and pee into a bag, you know.
I mean, that'll
Wasn't there
work.
that astronaut that did that?
Yeah, the one that came to kidnap or kill somebody or whatever, from Florida.
Love triangle or
Yeah, I
something?
remember hearing that one.
I know it used to be
Sarge.
popular with the yellow
Sarge.
cabs in New York City. Yellow cabs.
Yeah,
Peeing
you're
in
home.
bottles.
Good on your bike, Sarge. Steven is chiming in about your dad's Dodge, Tim.
Yep. It reminds me of the Flintstones.
Beer and a bozo watching from Northern Ontario. Hey,
Whoa.
Now,
thanks for
that's
tuning in
cold.
from the Great White North. How cold is it up there right now? How many bikes are in my garage? Well, I've got 24 bikes total now with the new little Navi
I've
that's
got
sitting
2.
right there, Navi. In the garage right now, I've got 9. The rest of them are at my warehouse. Can't keep them all at home. I have to rotate through them, and that's becoming a problem because I don't have enough butts to ride it.
There you go. You're gonna have to start a rental company, Quasi.
I thought about doing that bike share thing. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, I forget the name of it, but you can loan out your bikes. And
Yeah,
Actually,
I don't know the
make some
name of
money.
it too. You can make some good cash on that, man.
what are you talking about, Kevin? Golden Age conversion. Which one? Headlight Productions. Would I do a cannonball on the Navi? Yeah, sure. Now, I talked about that before I started the Cannonball, my little C3 scooter. There's no way in hell I would do it on that 50cc scooter because when you're talking about 500-mile days, over 500-mile days, you're only going to get an average speed of about 32 when you include your fuel stops. Best case, you're doing 43, 44 miles an hour on the highway. So to crush those miles, it's going to be an 18 to 19-hour day in the saddle. No thanks.
No.
We were spending almost 15 hours, with our fuel stops on the longest days on our super trips, and we were able to do 55 pretty steady, pulling the trailers. No, tires are flat on them. They're not running bad. My son and his friend are over here trying to take off on my electric scooters. Tires need aired up, and the little one doesn't have a front brake right now because Bella broke off the brake lever. So unless you want to Flintstone it. Sorry, Guy. I was going to answer your question. How would the Navi do with 350 pounds? Well, I touched on that in my first video. My wife and I and my youngest daughter rode 3 up on the Navi. Combined weight was somewhere 350 to 360 pounds. Did just fine. It didn't particularly like it, but it wasn't any problem, and it didn't. The suspension didn't bottom out or anything like that. Accelerated just fine, stopped just fine. So yeah, you can ride 2 up on it. Sam's talking about he gets non-oxygenated fuel. I don't think I've heard of that particular nomenclature, so tell us what you're talking about, Sam. I'm assuming it's no alcohol, so non-ethanol, but non-oxygenated. Interesting.
Never heard of that one.
I haven't either. Where's the Navi's engine built? I'm assuming Mexico. This one was assembled in Mexico. Honda's got manufacturing plants all over the world. And this is one of their multi-country bikes. It's not what they call one of their world bikes. Most of the world bikes are made in China. So this one is has a Mexico VIN number and everything else. So I'm assuming it's made there. Mountain Dew bottles in the road ditch are never Mountain Dew. It's like the Dumb and Dumber skit when they get pulled over for the open containers.
Yeah.
Don't drink that.
I always feel bad for the guys mowing the sides of the highway for that. Because you got to think they hit those things all the time.
We have Snapple bottles in New York. Snapple bottles.
Yeah.
That's not ice cream.
Gus is saying Twisted Road, and Kevin is saying Rider Share. Those must be the 2 bike sharing services that we were referring to.
Oh, okay.
Can we go outside with the Navi live? Tony, I'm outside right now. I'm in my driveway. This is no green screen. I'm outside,
There's
baby.
the green screen.
This
There's
is
the
the
green.
real deal.
It's 10 degrees here. I'm not going
And I'll
outside.
prove it. I'm not condoning drinking and driving, but I'm taking my Dos Equis with me. Oh. No green screen. It's real. I'm outside.
That's going to be a great backdrop shot for something.
Yeah, I'm going to take a picture of that. Actually, the lighting is working pretty spicy for that. I like it. I
Yeah,
might
that's
move
pretty
the camera
cool.
a little closer and get less of the driveway, but that's a pretty cool looking photo
Yeah,
shoot.
that's a nice shot for social media.
That way we can do an
If I
image
can
search on
arrange
the
it,
house next door.
yeah, if I can
Gotta
arrange
do
it, I'll pull my Super Cub up and have all three of them in there and get a wide angle shot of all three of them.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
man, you gotta get that social media popping, man. That's where it's at. Full social media.
Looks huge next to the trail. I think it's just the angle. Whoops, sorry, no, not that one. I think Tony's saying that it looks huge next to the trail. It's just the camera angle. They're about the same. And I've got the Navi up on the center stand, and the trail is not. So they're about the same height. The height discrepancy is because of that rear rack on the CT. It looks lower, but if you look at the seat height of the CT 125 and the Navi up on the center stand, they're almost identical. Non-oxygenated gasoline, no additives, increases the oxygen content. No ethanol or any other oxygenate. Nice. Yeah, well, I believe that. Ethanol is just a way to dilute the fuel, sell more of it, charge more in taxes, make sure that it doesn't store as long so people can't use it as an independent monetary instrument. But that is another conspiracy discussion.
Oh man.
Derek's saying it's minus 10 here right now. If I went out dressed like that, I'd have an innie instead of an Audi. Well, yeah, I think 24 hours from now, we're going to be below freezing here in Katy. We got freeze warnings, so I might have snot sickles. I'm sitting out here 24 hours from now.
Hopefully it does better than it did last February.
Negative 27 in Central Bend right now. Oh, damn.
I got stationed in Grand Forks, North Dakota,
My
and
guy out there.
I don't miss that type of weather.
Hell no.
Who has what's the name has the Riker? Who got the channel in Minnesota? What is his name? Oh, I can't remember. I feel so bad. I had him on my podcast. He's in Minnesota. He has a Riker channel. Life and Riker? No, not Life and Riker. He did a few channels. He did a few videos when he got his Riker. He's out there in Minnesota. Man.
Yeah.
Cold.
Well, did you see that Ice Capades on the Riker that I did back in February here?
Yeah.
We were iced up here because we don't usually get snow and stuff like that. But the way that it came down in layers and melted and refroze and melted and refroze, and then there was a dusting of snow across the top of it. We had like over an inch of solid ice on the street. I couldn't get any traction on my Riker, man. It was just sliding everywhere. I'm not going nowhere. Eric's saying, old man Riker guy. Is that the one? Keith?
No, I'm looking him up right now. Let me see.
Oh, no, Tim is saying Fun and Riker.
Fun and Riker. That's it. Fun and Riker.
I remember watching his channel.
Yeah. Yeah, he's out there. He's out there in the cold right now.
I'm from Syracuse, not ever going back, even for a visit. Uh-oh. Don't
It's
like
cold
that
up there.
upstate New York no more. Yeah, it's
That's
cold.
upstate New York cold. It's no joke either, man.
Tony's asking, why can't I buy a trail anywhere? I talked about that one a little earlier, and I mentioned it even in the live stream when I went to pick up the Navi. I think Honda is sandbagging the distribution of them because the trail has the older non-Euro 5 compliant motor in it. So Honda couldn't sell the Trail 125 in the European Union or in the UK because it didn't meet that new emission requirement. The 2019 and 2020 Cubs, Super Cubs, were allowed to be sold there, but they couldn't sell the 21s. So the 22 Super Cub and Grom get this new motor. So I think what Honda is doing in the background is they're redoing their tooling for the Trail production line, and they're going to put the mirror motor in there. So maybe that's what's going on. We'll start seeing those in the next year.
I haven't seen any here either, Tony. I haven't seen them in Oklahoma.
Yeah, they're rare. I think for quite a while I was the only one in Texas, and I really didn't ride it that much. I feel like a dick because I got it early and didn't even use it for 6 months. Old Sarge is saying he misses his Kawasaki 500 Mach 3. You know, I never had one of those. That was a little before my time, but those were some cool bikes. I did have an RZ and some of the others that were kind of in that era. Fun. Kevin's saying, telling me you want the Quasi-Motard Reserve. No, not unless you're going to pay me back my secret deposits that I have on bikes everywhere. Tim is saying Fun and Riker was off for a while. He posted an update from his garage telling stories, so yeah, we'll have to look into that.
Yeah, he wasn't doing videos for a while, but I'm assuming it was probably too cold to go outside and do a video. That's probably why.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like me. When it gets too cold, I got to do all my videos indoors.
Right.
So I'm going to have to sign off. My headset's about to die.
Okay. Well,
So
we're going real long.
Have a pleasant night.
I don't know how long we want to stay on here, Keith. If you're getting tired, we'll call it a night.
Well, whenever you're ready. I mean, I was gonna.
Doesn't matter to me, man.
I mean, you know, I could definitely probably kick it till about 11. Another 20 minutes. It's up to you, Quasi, if you want to hang out.
Sure. Yeah, we'll kick it for a little bit. I still got battery in the phone and everything else for a little bit.
If anybody wants to find me on Instagram, it is Secure Rain. One word. Secure Rain. All right.
How do you spell?
Have a good
spell
night.
the last part?
Secure, SECURERAIN.
Rain.
All right.
Rain. Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. Talk to y'all later. Have a good night.
All right.
Good night.
It's good seeing you.
Oh.
So, LM, which the picture, is that what you're talking about? The bike sitting here in the driveway? That's what we were talking about. Make a good background. It looks pretty spicy. I like it.
Yeah.
The Navis be limited like the Trail? No. I think Honda is going to flood the market with these Navis. I think they probably got a warehouse or two full of these things, and they're trying to find a market to unload them. And now that the chip shortage thing is going on, they're like, fine, we got carbureted bikes sitting over here we need to liquidate. Zia, I'm what? Is this a fill in the blank? Is it a multiple choice?
Is he out? Is he out? Is Zia, I'm going to sleep?
Did you fall asleep typing it? Was it I'm tired? I'm quitting.
I'm done. Oh man, I don't blame him.
Yeah. My wife asked me a minute ago when I went in for another beer, she said, "Are you still on?" Yeah.
Yeah, I get that too, man. I get that. How do you do it? How do you do a 3-hour live stream? I don't know. I come in with my topics, Quasi. You know, I'll have like 100 Post-its put around the computer. So, but I don't want topic. After a while, forget it. It just turns into whatever you want it to be, you know. It's just one of those things where it's like, I didn't even know. My first live, I was like, I didn't even know how that was going to go. I think I did my first live sitting outside. Like,
I remember. I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. You were sitting out in your driveway out back.
Yeah. And then I was like,
okay,
you know
Zia finally woke up again. He finished his thought. Honda's going nuts with these small bikes. Yeah. They. I mean, you got to think they started the whole small bore resurgence here in the U.S. with the Grom. Was really the one that started it for them. But you go back 50, 60 years, and Honda's small bikes, the Super Cub and the Dream, and some of those are the ones that changed motorcycling forever for the entire world, not just here.
No, it's a new thing. I mean, now with everybody looking for an alternative way to get around. And I was just reading how the UK wants to get rid of cars' personal ownerships, period.
Oh, yeah.
I saw
Yeah,
that.
you'll own
Just,
nothing and be happy. No. So,
yeah, give you a credit every year for not owning a car, so they'll pay you to
yeah,
not own a car.
right. Well, in really busy city centers, I think France has done that. I kind of get it. It makes sense from a pollution and congestion standpoint, but they need to work on the infrastructure leading up to the cities for like park and rides and things like that. Bolster up that train systems and whatever it takes to get there, and then you can do bicycles or whatever it is for the last handful of miles.
Yeah,
But
we're
what
headed
the hell are you
into
supposed
a
to do if you're coming from
congestion.
somewhere else?
Right. We're heading into congestion pricing now. New York.
Yeah,
It's the
that's
study.
what it is.
The study
So
is just about over in New York, so you're about to see it hit here soon too.
Kevin's saying he's taking me up on my challenge. Which challenge would that be? I'm full of those, Kevin. I don't think Honda is going to raise the MSRP on these things. If they do, it might be $100, $150. But I think what they were really shooting for with these is that initial shock value of, oh my God, it's under $2,000. And how they came up with 1807, I don't know. That it's pretty arbitrary, bizarre number. Why didn't they just say, 1829 or why 07, whatever? But
They covered the shipping on something.
yeah, so I think if they raise the price, I would hope that it comes with a feature upgrade as well. Add EFI to this thing, add fuel injection, get rid of the carburetor, because they've already got the platforms down there off the shelf. They could use the Zoomer X or something else. They've got other air cooled fuel injected bikes too. We're way more excited with the Grom. I think it's going to be a tuner bike. The fact that it's carbureted is actually not all bad because it's easier to tune a carb bike than it is a fuel injected bike. Much easier. It's a little more finicky, but you don't have to have a computer. You don't have to have a programming cable. You don't have to buy a $300 or $400 accessory fuel controller like an Apexi
That's
or a Power Commander or any of that stuff.
right.
What you go buy is a box full of jets that fit your carburetor. You get different size jets for your main jet, your idle jet, and you tweak it. You play with it. You're also going to have to get little needle clips that you raise the Venturi needle or the main throttle jet needle up and down. And it takes a little bit of tuning. And to do it right, you either need a dyno or you can do a wideband O2 sensor or something like that to look at your AF ratios. In the old days, before all the fancy electronics, you just used EGT, so exhaust gas temperature, and you watch your combustion temperatures at various RPM and load levels to make sure that you're not running too hot for your valves or outside of the thermal envelope of the engine. That gets into a really deep engineering discussion and racing. That's what I grew up doing. So anyway, yeah. Zia's saying the main bikes for the Asian markets. Cub was the best-selling bike of all time. Yes, it still is. Over 110 million units have been sold. It's a very popular little machine.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, Kevin was trying to complete Zia's thought. Motoski saying London has areas that you can only use electric vehicles. Yeah.
Wow.
France has done the same. Paris, I think, they've shut down city centers. You can't get in with vehicles, not even taxis.
Wow. Yeah, that's just going to be the wave now. I mean, we're just going to have to expect it to, son is a mechanic and he has to go and get, takes updated classes all the time. And they tell him all the time that the days of you on a wrench on your knees and on your back is coming to an end.
And I totally get it. I mean, that's where technology is going, and it makes sense. Electric motors are more efficient. They can approach 92% efficiency in most cases for the type of motors that we're using now. You get into axial flow motors, and they're even more efficient. They can approach 98% efficiency. But what goes along with that is all the very, very complicated computer controls to generate those fields in a BLDC or a brushless DC motor, or three-phase AC. There's a lot of electronics that go into the back of that, and that's not things that you can work on, as a layperson.
No.
It requires specialized tools, specialized experience,
Programs, updates. Yeah,
program,
it's
software.
a
It's all
lot.
software.
Software. Yeah, it's a lot when it comes to that. But that we're gonna see in that day and age where no one's gonna have a tool belt on them, or they're gonna have a bunch of computers and
Yeah.
tablets and clips, and they're just gonna be plugging up into
Sarge just
cars.
saying the weather's heading through his part of Texas. He's about 3 hours from me, 3.5 hours. It's coming my way.
Oh,
Not here yet. Tony,
wow.
Tony is saying that the dealer raised your destination charge to $300. So I presume you're talking about the Navi. So I paid freight of whatever it was, 246, 247. I showed it on the invoice on the first day on that live stream. Are they charging you freight in addition to destination? Because that would be gouging. Tajikistan that only allows one model of a new white car in the capital city. Okay, it's different. All kinds of crazy stuff going on there.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah, Zia is saying New York is going to be like London with the congestion tax. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they don't know how they want to. They don't know how they want to do congestion pricing yet. But I'm telling you right now, you're gonna see. It's gonna be crazy because we're the only cities had with tolls into boroughs right now. Remember, our bridges and tunnels are tolled across from one borough to another, except for there's three bridges that are not: Brooklyn, Manhattan, Williamsburg, right? Everything
Right.
else went east into Manhattan, which is Queens Midtown Tunnel, Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, Triborough Bridge, Whitestone Bridge. That's all going into boroughs. There's even one Queens to Queens. There's Rockaway. Then you're gonna tack on all of that plus congestion price. So now you're gonna below. I don't even know the exact numbers, but now it's going to be hitting the east side. You're going to pay a toll just to drive around. That's going to be insane.
That's crazy.
Because
And at that
it's
point, it would be better to ride in some type of public transportation or take taxis. But I know that even the taxis charge you for the tolls up there. They pass it through
taxes,
to the rider. So I don't
right?
know how it's going to.
You eat the toll for that, and
I'm
on top,
listening to you, but I'm going to go get the cub out of the garage. Keep
yeah,
on.
yeah, ride sharing is going to be the big thing where people are just going to be able to split it. Maybe 3 or 4 people get into one vehicle, share the ride. You're also gonna have I guess they're gonna work on trying to give people incentives to where if they're going to a doctor's office or they have to have specialized surgery or it's gonna be a complete emergency, there's gonna be some type of I guess exemptions for that. But I'm not sure how they're gonna work. I don't even worked out all the plans on congestion pricing because remember, it's going into Manhattan, which is a extremely congested area of New York City. So you got to think, I mean, to pay, I don't even know what they're talking, anywhere between, $15 to $30 to go into Manhattan. Now, that's a lot of money to shell out, if you're going to a Broadway show or you're just going to visit 1 or 2 people. So I don't know. I mean, it's the wave of the future. So I mean, it's going to happen. It's just how people are going to deal with it and what's going to be the logistics of it. But it's definitely going to happen. So it's going to be the new norm in a lot of cities, this
Yeah.
congestion price.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. There's almost a benefit to this vehicle reduction when you start thinking about uh, when you live in Manhattan and some of these really busy cities, you can't park your vehicles.
No,
You got to rent a garage for thousands of dollars a month, and even parking spaces can cost you $1,000 a month.
I
And
think
hell,
in
it was that bad
Manhattan,
when I was working there in the late '90s. So
yeah, right now, if you want to buy a parking space in Manhattan to own one, it'll run you probably, depending on the area, between $200,000 to $1 million
wow,
to actually buy a space that you own. You're talking about talking about going to a Broadway show and parking, you're looking at least $40 for a parking spot. It's
Right.
insane. It's insane. So, you got to understand, like, I get it. You want to free up Manhattan to bring in, more people instead of just cars and everything. But I mean, I guess it does have its benefits, but I do think there should be a kickback also to people who do not drive cars, just like in other states. If I commute to Manhattan and I'm using something, an electric scooter, a motorcycle, or whatever have you, and I'm not tying up the roads, I'm not eating up, carbon emissions, I should get a little stipend in my check if I'm a
Yeah.
city resident. If you really want me to stay out of Manhattan, that's your thing. So you're not only telling the people who travel from other states that they don't want you driving through Manhattan, but you're telling the people of New York City also that they don't want you driving to Manhattan. Then there should be something in incentive for me.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Tony, I
Pay
think
my
it's camera perspective. I'm seeing that too. Sitting here looking at them, it's not smaller. It's a
Yeah, it's your
lens
camera.
effect.
It's the fisheye effect.
It's a lens effect. I'm going to
Yeah.
swap the Navi into the middle because it's the centerpiece of tonight's conversation, right?
Yeah, everybody got you working out there today, Quasi. They got you moving around, setting up setting up your backdrop. Next time, just take a picture and hang it up on your green screen. It's a lot easier. That's how I do it. I find it a lot easier. Hold on, I just got to answer quick text. My bad. Hold on 1 second. Just quick. I got to answer a phone call. So yeah, what's on the question? Yeah, the Cub looks tiny. Yeah, that's definitely the fisheye effect on the camera. Yeah, it looks good, Quasi.
Yeah. So now the Cub looks bigger.
It's
Can't do
definitely
anything about that fisheye, not with the cell phone camera. Yeah.
right. Yeah. It's all right. It looks good.
Yeah. So Mike is saying the Downs-Thompson paradox comes into play. Yes. Yeah. Fastest, cheapest method, you bet. What'll be interesting is finding out how that plays out when people find alternative methods of transportation, like e-scooters and things like that. We've already seen that play out in California, where people are looking for better ways to get around, but then it creates its own problem, and the city starts going after that. So you end up
Right.
with tipping
There's
scales
no way
jumping off the ship.
because there's no way to tax it. Like so they
Yeah,
tried to go after bicyclists and they wanted them to start registering your bike, but that didn't pan out. There's no way. They want you to put a license plate on a bicycle, but then you have people down to scooters and one wheels now. Where you gonna hang a license plate on your back? It's like,
exactly.
they want to they
Here's my
want to get
ass
their
tag hanging out my
piece.
back pocket.
Right. The city wants a piece of everything, but they can't. Now they just put in legislation about opening up the bridges for alternate means.
See
So
ya.
now,
I'm signing off.
Happy New Year.
That's good
Happy
shit
New
right
Year.
there. Catch you later. See ya.
Happy New Year, bro. But yeah, they now they want to open up bridges for bicycle traffic. The ones that you can't, of course, which the ones without walkways, like the Verrazano Bridge. They've been trying the bicycle lane on that thing for years. But I don't know where they're gonna put it where people are not gonna get blown off that thing. So
Yeah, well, man, I was up there, doing the cannonball. We went over some pretty high bridges, and the crosswinds were entertaining on the little Super Cub. Let me tell you,
yeah,
but
man,
the Super Cub's got these skinny little, I think they're 70 millimeter wide cross section. They are skinny, and they ride between those metal grates and the rain grooves, and threaten to toss your ass right on the pavement.
yeah, you got to be careful. You definitely got to be careful. But I don't know. We'll see what pans out in the next couple of years here in New York. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Who knows? Everything's changing. Everything's electronic. Everything's going to the future. Things like
Yeah.
that. Soon you'll be buying your bike with cryptocurrency, your next big purchase anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and the future of transportation is going to be interesting because I was reminiscing on the previous long road trip that I did with Adrian. We went up to Missouri and Arkansas and all that on the small bikes, and then again on the Cannonball. And I was thinking about it when ICE engines are dead. The governments want to ban internal combustion engines, and we're not running gasoline anymore, and everyone's forced to use electric. You can't do the kind of road trip that I just did. It's not possible, at least not in the time frame that we did. You won't be able to get in a car or get in a motorcycle and travel state to state in a day or day and a half or whatever. It's going to take you 3-4 times that long because you got to stop and charge the thing up constantly. You got a 100-mile range, and then you got to wait an hour or 2 hours, 5 hours, whatever it is, to charge that thing and do it all over. You can't just stick a nozzle in there and fill it up in 1 minute, 2 minutes, whatever it is. So I wonder what my kids are going to have for their travel options, exploring and doing the kind of things that I grew up doing. I don't
Yeah,
know that
exactly.
exists in the same form in another 10 or 20 years, whatever it is.
Exactly. Like, how do you tell people who live in a 200 apartment high rise that they have to plug in their cars? Where they going to plug them in?
Where are you going to plug them in? Well, and the petroleum companies never want to be out of the distribution. That's why they stifle as much of the battery technology and everything as they can. And they own the battery patents because they don't want to disrupt that money coming out of the ground in the form of oil. So the big threat with electric, especially solar and renewables and things like that, where you could generate your own electricity, that takes the oil companies and the existing power players out of the distribution model. The distribution model is everything because that's how the fuel, the energy is taxed. That's how the government taxes it. That's how the companies make their money. And if you can take out those middlemen and generate it yourself, you break the system. So electric vehicles, that whole utopian dream of, I've got solar panels on my roof charging my Tesla wall, and then I charge my car from the wall. They're going to figure out ways to tax that shit to where you can't do it for free, or they're going to raise the price of electricity on everything else to keep themselves in the distribution chain. It's just simple economics. It's not rocket science to figure it out. It's unfortunate, but it's going to be the way of the world.
They got to get their piece, and that's just the way it's going to be. Nothing you can do about it. Nothing's free.
Beam me up, Kevin. Teleporters.
Yeah. Warp drives, teleporters. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. If I could teleport from place to place, then I wouldn't need the road trip. I would just take all my backpacking, camping gear in a rucksack on my back and go hike up a mountain and do whatever.
In and out of bank vaults. That's all you do.
Yeah. Did you ever see that show? What was that movie? The guy that can zip in and out of walls by looking at it. I'll think of it. Cool movie. Yeah, that's what he did, was just rob stuff all the time. It's like his life. US is too automobile focused. Brian, yeah, I think you're right. The golden age of automobiles back in the 50s and 60s, when we built out all of our national transportation infrastructure here, your interstate highway systems, we became addicted to gasoline and cars. But the real problem is large states. Let's take Texas, for example. Houston, prime example. Our distances are so vast from place to place. We're not built on small, self-contained city centers like New York and a lot of the northern states, where you don't have to have a car. You can walk a few blocks, or you could take a taxi, or you can take public transportation, go just a couple miles down the road, and everything that you need for your life, for your little microcosm, is only a few miles wide. Some people don't even go that far. Here in Houston, just to go to the store, you can go 15 miles, 20 miles. You can start driving from anywhere in the greater Houston metro area, pick a direction. An hour later, you're still in the damn city. So the distances are so vast here, and the temperature is so high. It's hot, it's humid down here. Nobody wants to ride bikes. Nobody wants to do long outdoorsy stuff because it's oppressive. The heat is just awful, and the distances are so vast that it makes it pretty much infeasible to use other commuter type traffic. And we don't have bus systems here. We don't have rail. We don't have metro. We're the dam. Our bus system is horrible here. And
New York is competing. We have a bus system, but it competes with traffic. So they have bus lanes.
Exactly. And unless you've got an L,
compete.
you've got to have a city set up like New York, like Jersey, where they've got the L's. I mean, hell, even Chicago's got L's. They've got to be elevated. They've got to be out of the way of traffic and pedestrian stuff. Otherwise, you're competing for space. And the maintenance of those rails and those access ways is impacted by weather and rain and everything else. Because when you've got water on the ground, you got water on the ground and you got truck traffic going over that water in the holes. You have hydropneumatic action that's blowing out the rail beds and creating potholes and maintaining
people
it.
don't understand. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like New York City is a very old city. So imagine when those subways were built, that's why we get them flooded when we get bad rain. And bad rain in New York could be 3 to 4 inches, depending on how fast it falls. You could lose a whole train system. Then you got a bus system. It's very congested.
Because anything subterranean, where's the water going to go? It's going to fill that shit up. Yeah.
And New York City still has those small streets, and you have buses going up and down. It can take you literally, I've heard people, and I've probably experienced myself, to go from one area to Brooklyn to another, which is about, say, pick 11 miles. It's not unheard of for it to take you 45 minutes. Like if you walked it in a nice pace, you would get there before you drove there. It's just, the competition, the traffic is rough. It's rough.
Yeah. I can't pronounce your handle correctly, probably Dionysi. That's a good point. And this is a lot of the stuff that isn't in mainstream media, and I'm no authoritative news source on anything, so take everything I say with less than a grain of salt. But the whole renewable and green market has a very dirty, evil side to it that is not aired out in public forum. All of your battery technologies, solar technology, the carbon footprint on that stuff is huge. And what's worse is there is zero recycling for it. They might say that there's recycling for this kind of stuff.
Batteries can't be recycled.
Ain't nothing, man. That stuff sits in landfills. So you've got a precious resource that never makes it back into the manufacturing chain to be renewed or upcycled or anything like that. And what that will do is it causes this huge balloon effect. You're kicking the can further down the road. Eventually, it catches up with you because there's no more of that precious resource. Even worse than oil,
No, it's true.
We turn this into
People
a political.
don't realize how much water it takes to produce an electric battery.
Oh, hell yeah.
The water consumption is crazy. If you look into it, like to produce electric batteries, the water that's being used and the wastewater that comes out of that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot to it. And I understand what people are trying to say because, you're trading off destroying the ozone for another 200 years of destroying the environment with these lithium batteries. But I mean, you got to start somewhere, right? I don't want to get like you. I'm not going to go down the cold conspiracy.
Oh no, and I am all for.
We'll be here all night.
And I don't want people thinking I'm not, green conscious, whatever. I love internal combustion engines. I love the fact that you can just, fill it up and go. But I'm all for electric. If you just look at efficiencies, I'm an engineer, scientist by nature, and internal combustion engines are horribly inefficient. I mean, best case scenario, you might see 36, 38% efficiency if they're turbocharged and you're doing cogeneration and thermal recapture and everything else. You're never going to see anything above about 40% efficiency on an ICE engine. Electric, out of the gate, even a shitty motor is going to get 86% efficiency. So you're getting better at converting that potential energy into real work. So electric's the way to go. I mean, you look at diesel locomotives and stuff like that. They're not diesel. They're diesel electric. They got diesel generators. The traction motors are electric, and they've been that way for 50 years. Discussion. So Mike is saying thoughts on hydrogen. I got one word for you. Boom. Hindenburg, sorry. I don't want to be riding in one of those. There are ways to store the hydrogen in metallic substrates and things like that that slow the oxidation rates, but it's still riding around on a bomb. I don't know if you remember 10 years or so ago, all the CNG vehicles that were running around on the streets, compressed natural gas.
I remember seeing
A lot of
yeah.
A lot of the delivery companies started refusing to run those things because if they get hit just the wrong way, you're riding around on a bomb. That stuff vents immediately, and it's just pow.
And the transportation of propane tanks in most states are still governed by permit.
Oh yeah, it's hazmat stuff.
People don't know that, so that stuff is.
Yeah, it's a totally tangent conversation, but my grandfather was president plant operations at Canox, which is Kansas Oxygen Company in Hutchinson and Wichita, Kansas. They're a big company, so they dealt in compressed gases, welding gases, oxygen, acetylene, all the stuff. And I remember when I was probably 5 years old, maybe 6. I was going from city to city with him, and he was driving one of the trucks because a driver was out, and it was one of these big, like stake gate. They got the big wire gates on the back of it to carry all these big acetylene tanks.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow the gate came open on the back, and a couple of tanks went sliding and bouncing across the pavement behind us. And all I remember was a really bright flash and a huge boom in my ears ringing. And basically, it was one of the oxygen, or it might have been an acetylene tank, that hit the ground and just grenaded. And it was behind the truck, and we were moving away from it, luckily, but it left like a 3.5-foot crater in the asphalt. It just took a section of the highway out. And I remember my granddad pulling off the side of the road and was going back and, trying to assess the damage and all that. He was, things were on fire still. And he's saying, no, stay in the truck, stay in the truck. I'm like, you drive this around all day? It doesn't seem very safe.
Crazy, yeah.
Shit can go up like a bomb anytime. No, thank you. The job of my
Grandpa.
You're one tough old bird, man. He was a tail gunner in World War II, so he was a tough bird.
Yeah, that's nothing to him, right? That's
the
nothing.
walk in the park. Yeah, stuff blowing up around me, no big deal. I've been shot at.
Oh man! All right, Quasi, man. Let me get out of here, man. I gotta handle my business.
All right.
Nice show, man. See y'all. Happy New Year, everybody.
Let me know whenever you got something else going on, and as soon as I get my Riker back, I'm gonna start doing some Riker videos, and maybe I can finally come on your channel and do the interview that you've been asking for 2 years.
That's what's up. Yeah, definitely, man. Well, have fun with your new toy too, man.
Okay, I will.
All right, bro.
Have a good night, all.